Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Paterson Municipal Council, I welcome you to the special meeting of July 21st, 2026 at 5 o'clock p.m. The meeting is now called to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Alford?
Here.
Councilwoman Cotton? Is present. Vice President Davila?
Present.
Councilman Jackson is absent at this time. Councilman Khalid?
Present.
Councilman Mendez is absent at this time. Councilman Omar?
Present, Madam Clerk.
And Councilman Velez is absent at this time. Council President Mims?
Here.
And we have a quorum.
Could you please read the special meeting notice and the 48-hour notice?
In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and JSA 10:4-6 et sec, adequate notice of the time and place was included in the special meeting posted on July 13th, 2026, and updated on July 17th. Said notice was posted in City Hall's bulletin boards, posted to the city's website, and transmitted to the official newspapers designated to receive such notices, in addition to any other publication duly requesting such notices.
Thank you. Our flag salute will be led by Vice President, Councilwoman Davila. Everyone, please stand for the flag salute.
Flag of our country, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So to the general public, before we get started, I spoke to the OEM coordinator to ensure our safety and the public safety before our meeting, and they said, and he gave the green light for us to go. That's why we're still meeting on tonight. Madam Clerk, we will begin with our first item on the agenda.
Resolution, item number 1 is a resolution to amend resolution number 26:224 and resolution number 26:201. This is authorizing a budget revision to the CDBG program for fiscal years 2024, 2025, and 2026 for the reallocation of funds. This is stemming from community development and is resolution 26313.
So moved by Council President Mims and Vice President Davila, second by Councilman Khalid. Just a brief discussion. I will do it on
Yes.
a second by Councilman Khalid. Discussion. Just quickly, the Community Development Committee did meet last week to discuss these items. This first item is the allocation of funding to the Broadway Library in the amount of $243,000. To the South Paterson Library in the amount of $381,000, to our new rec center on 52 Front Street of $50,000, and a new fire ladder truck for the fire department for $1.3 million. We met, we approved this item, and the second item, just in advance, will be for 14 new homes through Habitat. Roll call, Madam Clerk, on item number 1.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes, I just wanted to say I was happy to see that there was monies put up for the ladder trucks. I know that that was something that was a huge concern for the chief as well as the fire department. So yes, and as well as the library. My vote is yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I think this is an item that we have for Paterson Habitat. Is this the one?
This is a
Oh, this is just for the
second one's
library.
Habitat.
Okay, the second one is Habitat. But I know that we did have the meeting in community development, and I know that sometimes people don't understand how hard it is to get equipment. Sometimes they don't understand how long it takes for them to build a fire truck. It's not easy. It takes a long time. And so when we vote on something today, it might take another 2 years before we can get it, but at least we know we're on the road for it. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Vice President Davila?
My vote is yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to make a point that when it comes to our public safety, police or fire, this council body
As always.
has always supported their initiative. I just want to point that out. That's all. My vote is yes.
Councilman Omar?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I am happy to say that we are getting a new fire truck with these monies and also monies being allocated to the South Paterson Library. My vote is yes.
Council President Mims?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
We have 6 yeses, 3 absent. This item passes.
Item number 2, Madam Clerk.
Item number 2 is a resolution to amend the Home Improvement Partnership Grant Program budgets for fiscal year 2017, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, and 2024 for the reallocation of funds. This is also from Community Development and is Resolution 26:317.
Second. Moved by Council Vice President Davila, second by Council President Mims.
Second,
Second by Councilwoman Cotton. Roll call on item number 2. This is for 14 new Habitat homes on Hamilton Ave and Summer Street. Roll call on item number 2, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to say to the community out there, this area has been empty for the last 25 years. We have to make sure, and I can say that we partnership with Paterson Habitat, and I know I just posted something about they're putting the application out now for if you want to apply for the new homes that they're building. So please, I think the application opened up today. Go to Paterson Habitat, which is on North 1st Street, do an application, and they can walk you through the process also of helping you get your credit correct so you can be able to apply. And just remember one thing, when you get a home through Paterson Habitat, it's 0 interest. You're not going to find nowhere else that you can get 0 interest. So I just wanted to make sure I put that out there for you. Madam Clerk, thank you, Paterson Habitat and the community for seeing the need to have this. This area's been empty like that for 25 years. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Vice President Davila?
I as well am very happy, and I'm more happy seeing that the 4th Ward continues to be developed and there's more growth to come. My vote is yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez, we are on item number 2.
Pass, Madam Clerk.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Pass for me.
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar?
My vote is yes.
Councilman Velez, we are on item number 2.
Habitat, homes for
For
Habitat.
14 new homes in the
CDBG money.
4th Ward. 14 new homes in the 4th
This
Ward.
is resolution to amend the Home Improvement Partnership Grant Program for fiscal years 2017, 2020 through 2024.
It's for 14 new
community
Habitat
development.
homes in the 4th Ward.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I apologize, I came a little bit late. As you know, arrived this morning from Brazil, Belgrado. Thank you. Madam Clerk, I think everything is good regarding this. It's not the first time we've been doing it. We've been supporting the 4th Ward in this new redevelopment, especially the families that being benefit for this type of program. Hopefully, we could get more money to invest in our community, especially those that are really needed. My vote is yes on this.
Thank you. President Mims?
Councilman Mendez.
Yes. Got to come back to me.
Ready, Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I see that on this item number 2, we're consolidating year 2017, 2020, 2021, 2022, 23, and 24. Consolidate all those numbers for the budget. I have a lot of faith on Paterson Habitat for Humanity. They have done an outstanding job for years in our community, and we all know that the need of affordable housing is a crisis in the city of Paterson. I'm definitely looking forward to support this entity and see them growing also with more projects like this. What I've been saying, my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. President Mims?
Yes.
Okay, 8 yeses, 1 absent. This item passes.
Item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Item number 3 is a resolution authorizing the award of contract to Denville Line Painting, Inc. for the UEZ thermoplastic striping project for the traffic and lighting Division of the Department of Public Works. This is Resolution 26:318.
Moved by Councilman Velez, second by Councilwoman Cotton.
They don't give you a chance.
Roll
to do
call.
anything else, so, like,
Second on, okay.
Can't move
Moved by Councilman Velez and Councilwoman Cotton, second by VP Davila. Roll call on item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you. I want to say to the director, this is the company that puts the lines in for the stop sign. I need you to look at Mercer and Lawrence Street. They put the stops, the line on the street, but there's no stop sign on the poles. So the lines are there, but Mercer and Lawrence Street never had a stop sign. So I don't think that when they paved it, I'm not sure if that was the guy who did it who paved it, or I'm not sure, because that area never had a stop sign. All right, thank you. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Vice President Davila?
So before I vote on this, and I am going to direct, before I vote on this, I am going to direct this to Director Rodriguez, because we're talking about stripping, right? And striping. As you are aware, there was some more work done on Route 20 and coming into East 43rd, crossing from Broadway into, to the left is Paterson Catholic. They did the lines again. They did not put the arrows back. They only did it on the route side, but not, and so you could just imagine the uproar since it was first paved. That was a request because there's been numerous accidents and people still go on the oncoming to make the left onto Broadway to go to Elmwood Park. So please, I'm asking you respectfully, the arrow going to the right only and the one going straight into towards 11th Ave, okay? And definitely my vote is yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to thank the UEZ director and the team for applying for this grant funding. This is all grant funding money, and those stripes are being done in the UEZ zone only. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I got a question for one of my constituents about this specific item, and I mean, is this the right thing to do, utilizing UEC funding through public work to be able to improve the safety in our community through lighting with the director? I'm looking forward to have some conversation about stop sign that I need in the third ward, and so signal light that are missing. So, but I definitely am in full support of this. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. Councilman Omar?
I want to thank the UEZ and DPW for working together to get this together. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez?
Thank you, Councilman 6th Ward, for saying that, because when you do an infusion of the two departments, you get efficiency, you get better resources, and the public will see the benefit on it, and especially in money. When we got the money there, they say we could have it to you, DPW, and that's infusion that we want in the city. If you could locate money that we could work together, it will improve the quality of life, it will improve the service, and the resident will be happy on it. So I commend both of them for going to the table, speak, and make it happen. My vote is yes.
President Mims?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
This item passes.
Item number 4, Madam Clerk.
Item number 4 is a resolution authorizing the award of contract to IPL North America, Inc. for purchase and delivery of 816 64-gallon Omni carts under the HGAC contract for the Recycling Division of the Department of Public Works. This is Resolution 26:319.
So move.
So move.
Moved by Council Vice President Davila and Velez, second by Councilman Mendez and Omar. Roll call on item number 4, Madam Clerk.
I'm calling for a discussion.
Discussion.
This, of course, happened before I came aboard.
Yes.
So I would just like an explanation as to how it's being used.
Sure. So, Director, if you will come. Also, there was a committee meeting, DPW committee meeting, where there was a discussion as it relates to it. Director, if you can come and give information on item number 4. It wasn't there? Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Go ahead, Billy.
Last year.
I didn't hear
No, she
She
wants to
just
know
wants to
what it-
understand what this
she
is
wa-
for.
She wants to know what it's used for and what's the
Oh,
need.
these are going to be given out to the residents of Paterson. Once we get them in, we'll have a giveaway like we did before. Every resident will be able to get one if they haven't gotten one already. The 816 was the amount we get underneath the contract that we have right now with the company.
Council President,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilman Khalid?
where is the money coming from?
Recycling grant.
So is it grant funding or?
Yes.
Thank you.
Roll call, Madam Clerk. Item number 4.
Councilwoman Alford,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton,
Yes.
Vice President Davila,
Yes.
Councilman Kalik,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez,
Of course, my vote is yes.
President Mims.
Before I vote, to our director, I know in the past that you allotted some of the recycling cans to the council members. I'm not sure what the capacity will be this time, but if you can do that this time as well. We get a lot of calls from our residents that are in need of recycling cans. By the time they get to the locations, they are gone. So if we can get a certain number allocated to each council member, that would be great. My vote is yes. Madam Clerk.
This item is adopted.
Item number 5, Madam Clerk, and just to update it, there are sponsors on item 5 and 6 that are not listed here, so we can read those sponsors into the record. Item number 5.
Item number 5 is a resolution recognizing August as National Minority Donor Awareness Month in the city of Paterson. This is from the City Council, and it's Resolution 26:320. And this is sponsored by Council President Mims. And I will pull.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Council President Mims, second by Councilman Mendez, Council Vice President Davila, and Councilman Omar. Roll call on item number 5, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford,
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton,
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I just want to read, the month of August is Donors Month, and I think that sometimes people don't realize the amount of people that we have, even in the city of Paterson, that are donors, that have received transplants, whether they're double lungs, whether they're heart, whether they're eyes. And I just want to say to everyone out there, the lady name is Denise Peoples. She's a double lung transplant survivor for over 20 years. And she's going to have an event in Vera Ames Community Park on August the 8th from 11 to 2. And the event is called Live Healthy. Live healthy, eat healthy, so you can be healthy and have a long life. So if you're not busy, community, come out on August the 8th for the Live Healthy, Move Free community event at Saturday at Barber Park the 8th. And this lady, her name is Denise Peoples. I've met her 4 or 5 years ago, and every year she does this event along with her other partners. And I say that sometimes people don't realize the amount of people that live in your own community that you don't know that have received a transplant from something and still are here. So we need to thank God that we're healthy, and the ones that are healthy, the ones that can live long with a transplant. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Vice President Davila,
Yes.
Yeah, she does it every year.
Councilman Kalik,
Yes.
Councilman Mendez,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar,
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez,
Ask her, does she want to be on it?
Any form of action of donation of body, anything that you want to do, it will produce life for other people. And I believe this is good. So creating this awareness week or month is a blessing for everyone. So my vote is yes.
President Mims.
Yes, and I know Ms. Peoples is watching. We will make sure this is presented and framed on that day. There is also Community Day for Maria Magda on the same day, so we will work out the time, so we'll make sure that we are not missing any one of those events. Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
This item is adopted.
Yeah. On this item, Corporation Council, item number 5, can you add Councilwoman Cotton and Councilman Velez and VP Davila? Thank you. Item number 6, Madam Clerk.
Item number 6 is a resolution honoring Stacy Coleman Wheeler for the 30 years of dedicated commitment and professionalism at Passaic County Board of Social Services. This is resolution by the City Council, number 26:321.
Second.
And sponsored by President Mims and Councilwoman Cotton.
Second.
And Vice President Davila should have been up there. Moved by Council President Mims, second by Cotton, Davila, Velez. Roll call on item number 6, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes, I wanted to say congratulations to Stacy. Stacy has been a dedicated and consistent leader at the Board of Social Services. So we're looking forward to celebrating her this weekend for her retirement. And job well done, Stacy. My vote is yes.
Councilwoman Cotton?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I want to say congratulations to you, Stacy, on your retirement. God bless you. Enjoy yourself for the rest of the years, as we say we have left here on this earth. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Vice President Davila?
So it gives me pleasure as well, to congratulate and to support this resolution. I am someone that has, first of all, we're neighbors now, but her and I met. She was interested in running for office, and whenever I needed, or even till just recently, to have someone be assisted, she was always present. So like you said, Councilwoman Alford, she definitely has been a staple in the Department of Board of Social Services. She's going to be missed, but it is your time to continue the next level of whatever it is you want to do, travel, stay home, do nothing. You deserve it. Congratulations, Stacy. My vote is yes.
Councilman Kalik?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
And item number 6, congratulations to Mrs. Stacy Coleman for 30 years of service, serving our community with love and compassion at the Board of Social Service. Enjoy your retirement. And with that being said, my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar?
Thank you, Ms. Stacy Wheeler, for your dedicated 30 years. Congratulations, and please enjoy your retirement. My vote is yes.
Councilman Velez?
Good work, Stacy Coleman Wheeler. Serving others and serving the underserved is really important, and that department understand what's the problem of Paterson, and for 30 years, it's real commended that she did a great job. So my vote is yes to the red.
President Mims?
So to my classmate from the great Eastside High School, Mighty Ghost, congratulations on the great work that you have done. To my secretary, Ms. Deidre, can we frame this in green, please, to have ready before Friday to present to her at her celebration? My vote is yes.
This item is adopted.
Item number 7, Madam Clerk.
Item number 7 is a resolution authorizing the solicitation of bids for the 2026 UEZ Road Resurfacing Program. This is for the 6th Ward, bid number 26-24 for the Division of Engineering under the Department of Public Works, and it's resolution 26:322.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Omar and Council Vice President Davila, second by Councilman Kalik and Council President Mims. Roll call on item number 7, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton? Yes. Vice President Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Director, I know that as we all remember, we hired a company that put together a study about the priority on how we're going to fix a road. Let me remind you that 4th Avenue, I've been mentioning that for the longest, East 22nd, East 23rd, and East 25th from 4th Avenue to the 2nd. Please, I need your help adding that on the list. I've been making that request for the longest. I'm not against the 6th Ward resurfacing project. I'm in full support of resurfacing because we all live in the city of Paterson and we drive in around our city. So I want to see all the city of Paterson fixed, but keep in mind that in the 3rd Ward on the Riverside section, I need help with that. All right? My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I am happy to work alongside the administration and my fellow colleagues to continue to advocate for the 6th Ward. East Railway, West Railway, California Kentucky, Buffalo, and Lehigh. They're all in dire need, especially East Railway. I can go back before my time and before others that it was definitely needed. So this is definitely something to look forward to, and we are one step closer to repaving 6 streets. Thank you to my colleagues for supporting this, and thank you to the administration, and my vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez?
Perfect example of fusion of two departments working together, UEZ and DPW, to identify the needs of our community and making sure the money is available for those projects. The only thing I gotta say is, and I called the mayor for this, what was that? Yeah, it's UEZ funding. Yeah. I texted the mayor, and I spoke to him over the phone regarding, and I believe about 2 grants that we have for street. Can you look into that, Director? Is Madison Street and B Street that's surrounding, and I believe we approve it, and that's why we stop to install the stop sign that we had in every street until we repave the area. So is Madison Street and B Street between 20th Avenue up to Market Street that I recall that we voted for it about two years ago. So let's keep on paving. Now, last but not least, BA, we need to send a message to the utility companies to see how they could merge together a schedule. If they need to fix it before we pave it, because we wasting the money on it, you know, going back and forth on pavement. Saying that, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. President Mims?
So I'm going to put it on the record. I've been advocating for this for years. We paved Governor Street and we left off the lower part. I know that it's a sewer concern at the bottom, but I am putting it back on the record. We should, before any more bids come out, the lower part of Governor Street has to get done. I've asked, now I'm demanding, because we cannot pave the whole portion of Governor Street and leave one block. So to the administration, please, let's get that block done. My vote is yes.
It's approved.
This item passes.
So, Madam Clerk, item number 8 and number 9, you can read them both together, different resolution numbers, but we can read them both together for the entertainment and dance license.
I can read them both together. I'll still need 2 separate roll calls.
Oh, you will? Okay, so item number 8, Madam Clerk.
Item number 8 is a resolution addressing the renewal of dance hall license for Express Service Association, Inc. This is on 47 Goodwin Street in the First Ward. Resolution from Finance 26:323.
So moved.
So moved. Moved by Council President Mims and Vice President Davila, second by Councilman Mendez and Khalid. Roll call on item number, and Velez. Councilman Velez, welcome back. Item number 8, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton? Yes. Vice President Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Council President and Council VP, for addressing this matter and adding this item into the agenda. My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar?
My vote is yes.
Councilman Velez? President Mims?
Yes.
My vote is yes.
This item is adopted.
Item number 9, Madam Clerk.
Item number 9 is a resolution addressing the renewal of an entertainment show license for Express Service Association in the First Ward. This is from Finance, Resolution 26:324.
So moved. Moved by
Second.
Council President Mims, second by Council Vice President Davila. Moved by Mims and Davila, second by Velez and Mendez. Roll call on item number 9, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton? Vice President Davila?
Yes.
Councilman Khalid?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez?
I want to take the opportunity to congratulate Mr. Norberto Curitumay in celebration of his seed and his goals and his achievement on education.
His
And
birthday.
yes, and his birthday. Even that I was not here, I was looking at everybody's social media. It was beautiful. Saying that, let's use this place. People could go and knock the doors, and I know it's a good place to be. So and well respected. So my vote is yes on this.
President Mims?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
This item is adopted.
Thank you. So I just checked for public portion. There are no speakers for public portion. Can I get a motion to close public portion? A motion to close by Councilman Velez, second by Council Vice President Davila and Councilman Omar. Roll call to close the public portion.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton? Vice President Davila?
Before I vote, Council President, I know that we're just closing the public portion, but I want to thank you for running an effective meeting. We all received our items, we read everything. This is what it's about, coming here and doing the business of the people. My vote is yes to close the public portion. I am going to stand up for a minute.
Councilman Kalik?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Mendez?
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Omar?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez? Council President Mims?
Yes to close the public portion.
Public portion is now closed.
So to the public, it is now 5:30 p.m. All of the agenda items on the special meeting of July 21st are completed. Madam Clerk, we will move, after we do roll call to close the special meeting, into our budget hearing session, which does not require public hearing. But we will be having discussions regarding the budgets of our various department heads, which will be led by our finance chair. Madam Clerk, can we call the roll to close the meeting, special meeting of July 21st?
I need a mover and a seconder.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Cotton. Is there a second? Second. Second by Councilman Velez. Roll call to close the special meeting of July 21st, 2026.
Councilwoman Alford?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cotton? Vice President Davila is absent at this time. Councilman Kalik?
Yes.
Councilman Mendez?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Before we close this special meeting and start with the budget hearing, Mr. VA and Mr. CFO, that you guys are here, I have a request. I'm looking forward to put together in the floor whether it's an ordinance or a resolution to be able to help our homeowners. Let me explain to you what is all this all about. In the last couple of months, we saw around 1,200 tax lien in the city of Paterson. When people are behind on their taxes, whether the sewer bill, we don't allow the homeowners to make a partial payment. But we sell those liens to those private entities that charge 18% on interest. It's almost impossible for those homeowners or property owners to get back on track after they have to pay 18% plus what they own behind. And we refuse to allow a homeowner to pay a partial payment. I mean, home is a necessity, it's not a luxury. I truly believe that things are getting tough. Taxes went up, sewer went up. We got people behind on their taxes on the sewer, and we're not making that easy for those people, for those homeowners to get back on track. When they come to City Hall to try to make a partial payment, the answer is no. So I'm looking forward to see whether there's an ordinance or a resolution to be able to help those property owners to make partial payment in those taxes or sewer bill that they have, because we easily sell those taxes and sewer to those private entities, and the 18% is on top of that. So we're going to have a lot of people losing their home here in the city of Paterson. Why? Because after 2 years, the city allowed those entities to do a foreclosure on those property, which is the law, within the law. So we got to protect our homeowners, and I'm looking forward to have that conversation, and you are the right person to sit down with legal and see how we're going to be able to help our homeowners be able to make partial payment, whether it's 2 or 3 payment, until they get back on track, and not selling those liens to those entities that make a lot of money. We have a lot of people making money in the back of our homeowners in the city of Paterson. I'm looking forward to find a solution. With that being said, Madam Clerk, my vote is yes.
Thank you. Councilman Omar?
My vote is yes, Madam Clerk.
Councilman Velez?
It sounds good, great. Let's see what DCA says and what the state law says, because there's a tax law, there's a obligation to fulfill. I'm not saying disregarding what his intention is, but it sounds good. But the state, we have an MOU in place, and we just received $76 million. That probably the book of instructions of that $76 million is in the table, and now we're facing challenges with DCA. Saying that, Once again, it sounds good, but we need to follow the rules and regulation from the state of New Jersey and DCA and the MOU that we have in place. My vote is yes, closes.
And President Mims?
So to the BA, there was a request on the floor by our councilman. There needs to be some conversations, but we know we have to follow the process. Those things need to be vetted through the proper committees, and our council members have to make sure they participate in the committees and do their due diligence before it even makes it to the floor. Madam Clerk, with that being said, my vote is yes to close the special meeting of July 21st, 2026.
7 yeses to absent. This officially closes the special meeting of July 21, 2026, so that no further business is conducted.
Thank you. So we are now done with the first part of the city's business, which was the agenda. All items are completed. At this time, we will begin our budget hearings. So while we're preparing for that, Madam Clerk, we need to have a table here with the chair for the director that will be speaking, unless we will utilize the mic. If we don't have it, if it's not prepared, the director can stand here at the mic.
Council President.
That might be better, unless you
Okay.
want us to pull a chair right now.
No, because then we would have to do mics. So let's use the podium for the budget hearings. All council members, you should have received an email with the documents in it, as well as you all have a binder in front of you, just to go over some of the protocols. You also, we received, and I know you've seen it all over social media. The mayor has already sent it out, and it was sent an email that we received $76.2 million in transitional aid. We want to thank the mayor. We want to thank this council for the great work that we did on last year, and our state legislators, our senator, our assembly members for their due diligence and working hard with our governor, Mikey Sherrill, to be able to close the huge gap that we were facing for this year. If we were not awarded the money that we were awarded, you'll hear more about that on August 11, which will be our special meeting to do our introduction of the budget. There are some requirements, as Councilmember Les so eloquently stated. Every council member, you have the MOU requirements. They will email to every one of you so that you're familiar with what that looks like, and we'll go into more detail on that on August 11 in the special workshop, in the special meeting on that date. But for tonight, our goal is to hear from our department heads. They've already gotten information and instructions from the administration on what it looks like. I know sometimes we hear 76 million and we think there's some extra money to allocate to departments. That money was to close the gap. So there is no millions of dollars left to say give it to this department, that department, or any department. We were facing $76 million, almost $77 million gap because the cost of health care was $23.4 million. It went up. And there's so many other things. The police department, about $8 million, which were under state control, as you already know. So the state covers theirs. Fire department's about $4 million. And then you have DPW, which is in the range of $1 to $2 million in overtime. But I'm admonishing all council members to look at the MOU that was emailed to you, all those documents. There will be a presentation on the 11th to go over that, but tonight we're mandated to do a budget hearing, and that's what we will do on tonight.
Council President.
Councilman Mendez and then Councilman Velez.
Just I have two questions. We plan to go through all the entire department tonight?
Every department, yes.
I don't see that. Oh, okay, I got the
Yes.
police department. All right, so I think that we should.
We're starting as soon as Councilman
We should have a table in the front and still have mics set up, the way we could have a better conversation.
No, it's
Council
fine.
President.
We'll use the podium.
All right,
It's
with that
fine.
being put, in my closing, on my last request, Mr. VA, about allowing our homeowners to make partial payment on their late taxes and sewer, I understand that we have a MOU that we got to go through, but government should work for the people, and we should find every way, any possibility to help our homeowners and to make sure that people stay in Paterson and don't lose their property. I totally understand. I've been here for a minute about the MOU. That's not nothing new, but we got to find a way to help our residents. That's the reason why I'm putting that request. on record tonight to make sure we find a way to allow our homeowners, property owner, to be able to make partial payment on lake sewer and lake taxes. That way we don't sell those lien to those people that charge 18% on top of what they own already. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Velez?
Council President, so we're going to have a hearing with the budget with all the departments?
Yes.
Tonight?
We have a schedule. I'll
So
call
we
the
have
schedule.
everybody that represents?
Every department head was instructed to be here, yes.
Department head. So public safety is going to be, in other words, represented by Director Jerry Spazia?
Yeah, they have certain times to be here, so.
Okay. Are they going to be here? The chief?
Yes.
The chief is going to
Yes.
be here?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's main concern.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so we can move forward.
Okay. So we'll call. Thank you, Director.
You look great.
Our first department head is Economic Development, Mr. Washington. One second. Is it on?
Hello?
Yes.
Good evening, folks.
Okay. Mr. Washington?
Hi, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity.
Council President, before going with Acting Director from Economic Development, may I ask a question?
Sure.
And the reason I'm asking this question is because I was in Brazil. I noticed in the article in the newspaper that Mr. Mike Powell was back and was hired already. So are you going to take accountability and responsibility of whatever has happened from this point on?
Well, in this
So 1 second, I will let it's for the BA to answer. He just started yesterday. Mr. BA, can you give the answer to that? I don't think he should do that.
I'll
Should be
answer
the
that,
BA.
and I just have a quick comment before we
Yes.
start, if I may.
Correct.
So I guess Councilman Director Powell rejoined the city of Paterson yesterday. I have been working very closely with Assistant Director and Interim Director, Mr. Vivero, on a lot of staffing issues through the year. So he is in the best position to talk about the 26 budget because he and I have interacted for several months on various staffing situations and changes. So
Saying that, Mr. BA, the conversation I've been with you and him, so you agree in his budget, correct? And he agreed in that budget. Well, what about if Mike Powell comes in and he don't agree in this budget, we need more? Well, are we going to reinvent the wheel? Are we going to go back and forth on his budget?
Mr. Powell is aware of how we're doing this tonight, and he has, he didn't object to it. Council President, if I may, just to set the scene, for what we're doing here tonight.
Yes, I was going to, Council President.
If I may. So under our form of government, Patterson-specific form of government, it is the administration that presents the initial budget to the council. Our plan is to do that on August 11th. But state statute mandates that budget hearings with the council occur as part of the budget process. So I want to preface the fact that all the presentations that you'll see tonight, the administration has already had these internal meetings over the last several months. In your packet, you'll see a 26 column with various position numbers. This is an opportunity for the department heads and the council to interact about staffing needs, what the current needs are, what the future needs are, and the administration will take all of the feedback, the back and forth, and make final decisions about what we transmit to the council for August 11th. So nothing is totally set in stone, but we're operating with the money that we're operating within, so we don't have tremendous wiggle room. But this is not the introduction of the budget. This is a strong framework, and after today's comprehensive conversation, the administration will put the final touches and transmit a budget for your consideration.
Finance Chair.
All right, so at this time, I'd like, everyone has the budget book, right? I'd like for you to begin. Thank you very much for standing in. You're still the Assistant Director, right?
That's correct.
But thank you for standing in as interim, okay? And so I'd like us to begin with the first budget book here.
Thank you. My main objective tonight, it is to basically say that our Department of Economic Development, main objective has been to be fiscally responsible and at the same time to maintain ourselves budget neutral.
Is that on?
Show's on over here. It is on?
Bring it. Okay.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Better? Thank you. Okay. As said before, my main objective as Assistant Director, working closely with the administration, in this case with the business administrator, has been to overlook and reframe, reconstruct economic development in totality. And predominantly, that's to look at the human assets that have been in need for many years, and especially in 2026. That being said, our objective has been to be fiscally responsible and to maintain ourselves budget neutral. We understand that as an MOU, we don't want to put more financial stress or exposure to the city and taxpayers. With that said, what we've done is internally, we've been able to take and maneuver and look at really items and or personnel that had not been being used in different areas and reallocate those assets to where they are heavily needed. One of the examples is community improvement. In community improvement, we have been given the extra manpower needed there. In other words, we were allocated 3 new clerks, an assistant director, moving forward in community in planning and zoning board, as well in community improvement. In community improvement, I'll give you some just quick highlights. In there, for the past couple of years, there really hasn't been much improvement. But till today, I can, with a lot of pride, say that every single OPRA is up to date. All rental certifications are up to date. And a lot of it has been with the aggressive oversight of Sabrina Curry, who has really taken on the challenge to oversee that department and make a full plan of action on the individuals that are needed, as well as the inspectors, and given a very specific narrative, direction, and oversight on how to move forward and not just come to work and not be responsible for your job. The UEZ is another example, UCC, where currently, even though we're still highly understaffed in that department, I'll give you some quick numbers. Year to date, that department has provided 954 permits, a total financial allocation of $657,000 for the UCC. And that's UCC alone, compared to last year that I had 2,032 permits. Penalties, till today, we have 24 penalties equivalent to $26,000. Our main objective is to restaff economic development to have a direct correlation to the increase of funds that should be coming into the city. So our objective is
that is a commercial break that we have. Thank you.
has been budget neutrality
No, thank you.
and fiscal responsibility with the current assets that we have. With that being said, I mean, there's not much more. We looked at in thorough review of the actual plan with this, and I have, sir, Mr. Velez, Councilman, I have presented the paperwork, the information to Mr. Powell as well for his review and to also continue our conversations throughout the week, being that he just came back on.
So, Council President.
One second.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Councilman Kalik, Council President, and then Councilman Velez.
Director, what are the departments that your department oversees?
We have
Under, in other words, under your economic development,
Assistant
what?
Director.
under my purview is community improvement,
Okay, give me 1 second.
UCC, which is the
Okay.
building department, historical, which is John Frankel. We have Ms. Della White, the movies and all that. We have UEZ, planning and zoning.
So I see a lot of major departments under you. Okay. The budget that you presented, do you have enough staffing to oversee all these departments?
No, sir. That's why, excuse me, let me just reiterate. At the current time, no. Right now, if everybody has been onboarded, no. That's why aggressively I have been working very closely one-on-one with the business administrator, and DCA, who has been very helpful in actually allowing us and move forward with the current staffing that's needed. At this point, I believe 90 or 99% of all the staffing needs that we have requested has moved forward. It's just a matter of now the paper process.
So how many vacant positions you have? Through
In which department?
all the departments that you oversees, how many vacant positions do you have in those departments?
10, 15, approximately 25 positions.
Across all of them?
Yeah.
How many just in community? I'm sorry.
Wait.
It's okay.
We're going by order.
How many of those were budgeted for last year?
I'm sorry?
How many of those positions were budgeted for last year?
The majority, in the majority were, but not in the way that we have rearranged them. There was a lot of positions in UEC that had never been utilized. So what I have done is, in conjunction, is remove a lot of those positions, not remove, but actually transfer some divisions to other where they're actually heavily needed. I'll give you an example. A secretary at the UCC office, that position has never been utilized. So we took that position, transferred that position to the zoning department where we do heavily need clerks. So that's what we've done with those departments.
The reason I'm asking all these questions, most of the complaint from the residents that we hear is some of these departments. When they come for permits, there are delays. Mr. Bie, you know of it. Also inspections and whatnot. So what are we, in this budget that you're presenting,
So if
that
you,
it could be improved for our constituents? Mr. Bie or Director,
Council
anybody
President,
could.
may I?
Yeah.
So, specifically within UCC, we have had a hard time getting full-time people to take a lot of those positions, the subcode officials, all those various disciplines. I think they were put out at 90,000,
that is correct.
and nobody applied for 12 months. So
Actually, for a year and a half.
for a year and a half. So we've had to fill those gaps with part-time hourly people, which, they schedule their work around their other full-time jobs. But the funding, those positions are in the budget. So we're going back to DCA and trying to up those salaries, maybe 10,000 at a time to try finally fill those positions. Once we have full-time people under the construction official and assistant construction official, they work for us 8 hours a day as opposed to this part-time thing that we're trying to smush together right now. So that's one of them.
One of the examples, if I may say, at the respective to UCC, if you've noticed recently, we do have a new technical assistant that we recently onboarded a few weeks ago. We also have a new clerk too in there. One of the reasons why those positions took so long to actually onboard is because to be able to eliminate or have the positions that were filled by other people, it took over half a year for them, so we can actually remove them legally. And unfortunately, that is just what the law required. But it took an enormous amount of time to get those positions emptied so we could put individuals there that want to do the job and want to come to work. In regards to the inspectors, the biggest challenge we've had has been the income itself.
The last question. This is a statement. This is a revenue generating department.
Yes.
It's one of the most important department in City of Paterson. Mr. Bie, I think you need to work hands in hands with this department to help their needs. If they need more people, make sure to fulfill them so it could generate revenue. You cover the salaries, I'm pretty sure. You will cover the salary with their revenue, even probably more, we'll get more. So it is very important that you look into this department specifically with your magnified glasses and get the job done. Thank you.
Council President.
Yes, so you took the words off my paper. So not just for this department, but every department, Mr. BA, that is a revenue-generating department, what I would like to see in the budget hearings is the amount of revenue they have generated, right? So when you're coming to say, I need 5 more people on my TCOP or 3 more people, we look at the revenue that's generated to see how we can consolidate. I think you did a good job in this budget of looking, like shifting things around. I see that you're asking for like principal planner, keyboard clerks, different things in here. I don't see, another thing that I would like to see too, like a page of wish list. Like, what is it that you really desire for your department? What does that look like? The revenue generated, if you're a revenue generating department, and then we can look into what's here versus what you had in 2025 versus what you're looking for in 2026 and what the difference of cost is, right? Because we know that every department head that will come before us, you have a lot of things that you're going to ask for. We know that there are some things that DCA, probably most things that they're going to push back on, right? But if we can present the case where we can say revenue they generate, like you said, what was it, $600,000 was generated in this department based on this quantity of work, based on us doing these things. Also, when it comes to some of the complaints, I would like noted too, where it says there's what, a 21-day turnaround, where we're not meeting those things should be considered too. Why are we not meeting the 21-day turnaround? UCC fees, where we're looking to increase those fees, but we have to make sure in this department specifically that all of these things are tight. We have to make sure that the staff is there. We have to also look into all departments to find out through retention, why are we losing certain individuals in departments where it becomes a revolving door, whether it's salary, whether it's attendance. All of those things should be calculated. So, and those are things, they don't have to be here with us because that's administrative, but behind the scenes in a department, what is the attendance like in that department? Why is the work not being done? Is it because of the attendance or is it because of a staffing issue that they don't have enough? So I think it's a variation of both, but it's not painting in the picture when the directors come before. But I think you did a good job of putting some stuff here, but it doesn't really paint the real picture of the needs of that department. So when you have your conversation with the director, please make it noted. I'm sure he's watching, but those are things that we would like to see, especially as we move forward towards introduction and the adoption of the budget. Thank you, BA
Madam
and
President,
Director.
Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Finance.
Menendez, then it'd be then you.
I was first, he was first. Okay, me? Okay.
Madam President, may I? Madam President, may I be, yes, I just wanted to address briefly your comments and your concerns. You're absolutely right. What we did do internally, we had a comprehensive analysis of what were the deficiencies predominantly relative to why the job wasn't being done. And it wasn't in regards to retention of individuals. It was in reality the lack of individuals. For whatever reason, no attention had been paid to the actual nitty-gritty work, right? So when the analysis came back in, and this is a full analysis that we presented both to the BA and to DCA, was why? Why do we have hundreds of thousands of dollars that have not been collected, if not millions of dollars? And a lot of it was because of lack of the personnel, but not of the higher end personnel, but more of this lower staffing with the keyboarding clerks 1, 2s, and 3s. And that was the predominant factor. We just did not have the staffing appropriated to do all the data entry work. For example, C-Clicks Fix. I'll give you a brief example. C-Clicks Fix complaint, there were over 2,000 complaints that had never been addressed. And I'll go in through zoning alone. That's simply because they only had one clerk. For whatever reason, I do not know why. It was never addressed accordingly, nor the staffing needs provided. You had over 300 fire department referrals, over 200 resident minimum just at a one-site complaint. Equivalent losses, if we look at the actual numbers, we're looking at anywhere from $100 to $1,000. Resident complaints equivalent to over $100,000 in revenue losses. ClickFix, approximately $400,000 in losses. Referrals from fire, $300,000. In total, close to $1 million in losses. The underlying factor is the lower staffing needs. That being said, after this comprehensive analysis was done internally, we provided that to DCA and to the BA, who pretty much gave it the green light and all the staffing that we need in regards to the higher level for inspectors that require DCA licensing that has been basically being it is just the income levels. But the lower levels, you will see in the next 90 days staffing come in on board because they have been approved.
So just in response very quickly, so the comprehensive analysis that was done, can you send a copy of that to all the council members?
Absolutely.
Mr. BA, I'm not sure what it looks like, but that may be something that could be used as a model for every department head. Especially he's saying that their work can't get done because of lack of staffing. That may not be the case in every department. However, you need to do some type of study to prove your case as to the need in every department. But I am going to put on the record that the city needs a retention specialist to identify why people are leaving, why there's a revolving door, to understand like what is that the nature of, to try to save some of these people to keep them on the books. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Councilor Velez, right? Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, it's not a secret, and I agree with you, Council President, that we have to do a forensic study why we losing a lot of good employees, but I could say one, easy without doing that study. It's a shame the salary that they paying. And when they see $34,000 starting in a clerk position and another city is paying 40, you know, they're going to be, and if they got potential, they're going to leave. It's the salary, attractive salary that we want to keep employees here, because at the time they get that salary, then increase of insurance, increase of this and that, they take peanuts home. Director, you have here, and I notice in every position in this budget 2026 that you have a 3% salary increase to all of them. This is contractual?
I'm sorry, say again, sir?
3% salary increase. For example, the office director of community improvement that have been vacant almost a year. You're going to hire one director of community improvement. You're going to hire one. We don't have one there, right? A community improvement director? No.
No, not yet, sir.
Okay, good. So that salary was $86,550, and it's going up to $89,171, and you put in a 3% salary increase on that. My question is, if you are hiring and based on the scale that we have for salary, are you putting that 3% based on that scale, or you just giving a 3% increase because you want to?
No, I'm going to refer that specific question to the finance director.
Yeah, but make that note, for I cannot go back and forth.
Councilman, if I may add, just, you know, our different unions have settled at different numbers. Some are out of contract for some time. So the highest settlements are 3. So as a conservative amount, that's what we apply to each position, because contracts could settle between now and then. So everyone's between 2 and 3. We use 3 as a conservative.
So in other words, and I pointed out the one that's community development, okay, improvement, sorry, because that position had been vacated for almost a year. And you're going to tell me that the person is not hired yet and he's going to be treated with 3% increase of his salary when this person should. If you're hiring somebody from the other side of the fence, coming with a low with the one already established, not giving 3% increase without improving or proving that he could handle the job. And I think that I agreed on the contractual ones, and I don't have no problem with that. But when I look at the community improvement one that had been vacated for almost a year, but he's increasing the salary coming into the door from $86,000 to $89,000.
Councilman,
and
if I may, if that position is vacated, which for the majority of this budget year was not the case, we have to get permission from DCA to post the job. And normally what happens, if somebody leaves at 85, we tend to get permission to go from 70 up to 85 where that person left, depending on the qualifications, the experience of someone coming in. So this is a maximum number that we're not intending automatically to hand somebody, but if a strong candidate does come in that we feel should pick up where the last person left off, it's budgeted for, but we hope it's less.
So you hope to hire somebody in this year?
We hope to have yes.
No, just in case you say no, so we could strike this $89,000 and put it back to the general fund.
Councilman Velez.
I know, it just came.
No,
in.
I'm not going to cut you off. I was just
Yeah.
going to say, don't talk about cutting.
No.
That has happened in some department and it's a disaster.
It's what he stated. He was stated that he'd probably not, but he's going to find somebody that will come in for that money. So, Director, and my council colleague stated that this is the department that brings revenue to the city of Paterson. I know that, Dr. Paul, please. I know that we had an ordinance in place to approve the increase of fees in the UCC department. Yes, hopefully this will bring more revenues to hire more people into that department. I could say, and I'm going to give you credit, since you took over this department, have been working accordingly, not in 100%, but it's working. It's working. I see people satisfied. I have conversations with other people that invest in our city. They don't care to pay more if the service is going to be prompt in the dot. And that's the message I receive. If you're going to increase permits or whatever, and the efficiency of the work is done promptly, is good for them. So saying that, Director, I think that we had got clear. Some of those are contractual. I don't get involved between contractual and not contractual. If the union fight for it, we're going to pay for it. So thank you, Council President. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair of Finance. Director, how are you? Our acting director, Mr. Washington, even though you're not the director, let me start by saying that you're being very on top of the department. You've been very accessible, especially to everybody. You've been really on top of the department, doing your best to correct all the problems that are affecting those and multiple departments that you're facing that are under your shoulders. So you have done an outstanding job based on what I see in an everyday operation. But let me start by saying that, just for the record, the Division of Planning and Zoning Director, so only salary and wage, I'm going to speak about that only, from $907,723, you went up to $1,048,516. That's $140,000 up, 794, 15.5%. We have one new position there. Now, the Division of Community Improvement, we went up 149,000. From 600,000, we went to 749,058. That's 24% increase on salary and wage. On the UCC code, you have 7 new positions there. We went from $112,617 to $1,554,185. So 741,568 up. That's 86.5% more in salary on UCC code, only in salary and wage. And also the Division of Economic Development, you're adding another 1 new position, which is a clerk 2. From 490,000, you went up to 592,441, which is 102,441 up. And historic preservation, you went 6.4 up on salary, which is 11,956, and no new position. Now, we all know, you hear this every single day. People, they feel frustrated about, especially community improvement, they prefer to do work without permit in the city of Paterson because it's almost next to impossible to pull out permit and the whole process. Sometime I have to reach out to you when there's a oil tank removal, something as simple as an oil tank, somebody selling a property, and it take almost forever. So and people that have to keep calling. So there's not a clear process on the deadline that people have to wait for any permit. So with all those positions that you're adding 67.6% plus 86% on salary and wage in all those departments. Is that the plan that you have in place to correct all those problems? And I'm speaking about the delay of permit, the lack of inspector to go out there in the community, inspection specifically, and the situation that we're facing. That's the plan that you're facing, and that's the first question. And the second question: are those positions vacant at this moment, or we have people in those positions as we speak now?
We have, so first question, in regards to my plan, yes, my Phase A, Plan A for me, right? Phase 1, it is to assess and reconstruct, and by that I mean the deficiencies, and I know I've said this before, where the problems were. That's why we had a comprehensive analysis, which you will receive soon, on those deficiencies. And mainly is lack of personnel. And I'm going to be specific to the zoning department, which the biggest challenge has been there is processing. And in this case, I'm going to refer to our zoning officer, where his biggest challenge has been how does he do his job, okay, independent of the personalities. How does he do his actual job? Review the plans, assess the applications, either approve them or deny them, and move them on down the chain. So he's only had one clerk. I've been here 2.5 years, almost 3 years soon. He's had one clerk, and the individual a lot of times is absent. So if he only has one clerk who does the counter, receives applications, reviews all the click fix emails, and everything else from the consumers, it's unachievable. So my focus has been is, now we know what the problem is, you're going to get 2 more clerks who have already been approved. It is a matter of now getting the paperwork out of the way, posting the positions, and interviewing. With that, we've also are heavily dependent and have been utilized individuals from the county who sends young ladies in to help us do the work, all the clerical work, the paperwork, the filing, because what I really want to do is home in on those individuals who have specific tasks, such as the zoning officer and the assistant zoning officer, to do their job and not to be filing papers, not to be doing data entry. I want them doing their job, reviewing the applications, approving them, denying them, or moving the individual forward, and not doing clerical work. I want clerks to do those jobs. And the same thing for the building department and community improvement as well as that one clerk that you saw in mine. It's because, as you see, I am overwhelmed myself, and I need at least one clerk for myself. Everything else I'll handle. But those are the objectives, and beyond that, to expand further, is to also to provide individuals with the proper training. Customer service has to be a must. It's not a question whether you want to be customer service friendly. You have to. We're civil servants. It is our duty and our responsibility to guide and instruct individuals on the paperwork necessary to move forward.
Thank you, Director. And the second question, are those positions available now, or we have people already placed on those positions?
Some are available already, pending just to go on postings. So we currently have 375s have been done on most of the positions. The 375s have been signed off. They're ready to be posted.
What do you mean 375 by now? Just for the lack of a better term, how many positions are vacant and how many positions we have people on? Because we're going through the budget. So in this, it depends whether we approve it or not, or whether we go. So I would like to know, like, how many positions we have vacant right now as we speak.
Vacant in total of new positions that are here still pending, approximately 25. 25. Out of those 25, we have 10 positions that have been approved. So we got roughly 15 positions still to fill the gap.
Okay. Director, I'm going to speak about, because we're talking about the budget, we're not directly, but the budget reflects the quality of service that you will provide to the resident of the city of Paterson. And the reason why I'm asking you is this is your plan, because as you know, I mean, the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems that we have in the city of Paterson is that department. Listen, when people have to fix a sidewalk and they have to wait 6 months for a permit, that doesn't make sense nowhere. When people selling their property and they put a request to remove the oil tank and you have to wait 3 months, the mortgage will not, you will lose the loan because of the time. So solar panel. When people apply to put a solar panel on the property, the mortgage, the loan, you have a time window, a small time window for you to qualify for the loan. If you extend the time, you lose it. If you pass by 6 months, all of that is happening in the city of Paterson. All of that is affecting the homeowners. And right now, we already know how the taxes are in the city of Paterson, the sewer, and all the bills that our residents have to go through. And on top of that, if we want to do an extension, forget it. You have to wait a year, year and a half. I don't know how long in order for you to be able to get the approval. So with that being said, if you're telling me that this is the plan for us to fix them, I'm willing to go ahead, because I guarantee you that this department is self-sustainable. I guarantee you that if we put, all the right team of this department, we'll wait more money than the budget that we're putting in. It will be revenue every year for the city of Paterson. And finally, in closing, Madam Chair, what I would like to see is a budget projection in terms of revenue for this department. Budget projection every month, how much money we're generating from each department, because we could generate a lot of money for this department. And in closing, as I say, you're not the director, but you have done a very good job in front of that department. I see you taking care of all the problems that are going through that department. So I have a lot of faith that you're going to work with the same passion with the new director and get the job done. So I wish you the best of luck, and we need your help. The city of Paterson needs your help with this department, because it's out of control right now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Councilman Mendez. I would ask my colleagues, I think you're all aware of our roles as council members, as the legislative body, and so the asks of what we want to see, we can go through the administration as we indicated, right? This budget is presented by the administration. We will then review based on the knowledge and the things that we know, but we can't tell them how to run their department. We can't do that. Okay, so we can make recommendations when we're in meetings, we can talk to the BA, and again, and once you come to, and it's time for us to vote on this budget, if you feel that you can't support it because you have not presented what a council person, right? But as a whole, we have to just understand our roles as the legislative body. So I just wanted to just say that. Councilman Omar.
Thank you,
then
Vice
Councilwoman
President.
Cotton.
Councilman Mendez, thank you for everything you said. I just have one question. You said there's 25 open positions, right? How many for UCC and how many for community improvements? UCC, I understand its challenges and whatnot, but with community improvements, I've called for certain addresses on July 6th, and they didn't get back till last week, or this week, yesterday.
If that happens again, please give me a call.
No, and you've been good with that, but how many open positions in community improvements?
I'll tell you right now.
Out of the 25 for the entire department, how many are
Community
open?
improvement, I believe there's
See, this changed
5
a
or
little.
6 openings.
5 or 6 openings?
This one.
I have the numbers here somewhere.
Okay, and then how many for UCC?
This is the aggressive one.
While the assistant director is looking, I just want to clarify something. These 25 positions would be filled in a perfect world.
Right.
We don't have budget
understand.
issues, So we're triaging with DCA approval the most important in that order.
12.
12?
Yes.
So 12 in UCC and 5 okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Finance Chair. I need to ask you, Director, with these departments for economic development, you got Division of Planning and Zoning, Community Improvement, you got UCC. I don't know why Historic Preservation is in your department, but my question is for the first one, I'm looking at Division of Planning and Zoning, and I see that you have 2 assistant zoning officers. I thought there was 1 zoning officer.
There is only one. The other one is the gentleman who has been suspended for a while.
Oh, he's still getting paid, right?
No, ma'am, but I would refer that to the administration.
Oh, you know what, I didn't know, I thought we only had the one, but you're saying now we have two, but one is suspended, and I have to get the information offline. Because my understanding, I needed to ask a question, and sometimes I always thought it was confusing why the secretary board and commission is making more than the zoning officer.
I'm sorry?
Is that because, why is the secretary of the board, it's two of them, and are they, because they do the planning board, because they do the board of adjustment meeting?
Because they work full-time and do a dual job. So there's two individuals here, not just one.
Right, I see two.
Right.
And my question is, they're making more than a zoning officer. And I'm asking you, is that because they're doing the zoning meetings?
Well, correct, they're doing
Okay.
meetings, yes.
Right. Now, I think I heard you said, Mr. Washington, that you were caught up over there in the building department.
I'm
Or
sorry?
you caught up with the lateness of, are they caught up with the lateness of filing and whatever? One thing I think that sometimes the committee needs to understand that if somebody's doing illegal conversion, you got to go to the board, zoning board first. Not zoning board, but zoning office. They then send a referral to the building department, where then the building department then supposed to go out to make sure that they can throw a stop work order on it, or whatever violation they got, if they got no permits. Is that correct?
The process starts off at the zoning department.
It's zoning, so-
They receive it. From there, they assess whether it's going to go directly into the community improvement, depending on what the what's actually being indicated, whether it is tall grass or
Right.
or re-rental certifications or something within that nature. If it's
Okay.
construction related, specifically through UCC, then
But-
the building department takes over.
Are you saying that they are all caught up?
Not in the building department, no, ma'am.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's a continuous
Now,
work.
no, and see, the next question for me is going to be, I don't say I caught, but a report was sent back in April on a conversion on a property. The property is finished, and what brought it to my attention was I saw a for rent sign. How you see a for rent sign, it never got permission, it never got permit, and now what happened? Y'all just stop it?
So two things would have happened right there.
They need to stop it because they get ready to rent.
Right, so it has to go directly to the zoning department. Anybody who puts a complaint in,
Right.
they'll look it up in the system right away.
Okay.
And they'll confirm to see if construction permits were submitted.
Right.
If no construction permit was submitted, it automatically goes out to the fire department, community improvement to see if there are any re-rental certifications, and the building department to see if permits were issued and a CO. Right away, those three entities would take control of the situation.
Okay. But actually, they're kind of really behind with getting referrals from the zoning department to go to the building department. They're like behind because there's loads of referrals that's sent from the zoning department over to the building department that is never getting looked at for months.
And that
so
is-
by that time, they're finished working, and I think the question would be to legal, like, do you put a red sticker on, say you can't do nothing with this until you go through the proper procedures and stuff? And so I just, that would be, you got an email, I sent it to you about that building.
Please.
Yeah, I sent it to you about, it's been April, May, June, July, for 3 months, and nobody came to inspect it yet from the building department. So, and like I said, they got a for rent sign on there. And what makes me understand now, what happens somebody moves in there and they never got their permit? Like, what happens to the renter? What would happen to them? Like, you're living in a building that's illegal. Who pays for them to move out? There's a lot of legal questions in here that they have to understand. Well, who's going to move these people out and put them somewhere? And that's what I'm afraid of. But I just want you, the community, to understand, too, that community improvement is for complaints for properties that are not kept up. Correct?
Correct, as well as re-rentals.
Not kept up, and complaints for houses that have garbage on the sidewalk. That's the DPW department. So because people get it all confused and they send the information to the wrong department, has nothing to do with don't have anything to do with them. And I just want the community to know, when you have an issue, there's certain areas that certain departments take care of right away. and some of them takes care of it. I know DPW is sidewalks. And I think that we need to pass some kind of law, because I'm tired of seeing garbage cans in front of people's houses. Like garbage cans are literally, when I was a kid, we had to drag our garbage can from the backyard to the front yard, to the front, and then when they picked it up, we had to drive it back to the back. You got loads of apartments now that have garbage cans all in front of the house. So, council members, we got to figure out something with that, because it makes the whole block not look good at all. I thank you, Mr. Washington. So get back with me on that address.
Definitely. If you can, please resend me that email.
I sent it to you.
We got a memo today on it, so you definitely have that today.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Anyone
Finance
else?
Chair. I'm finished.
Anyone else?
Commissioner of...
No,
you fin-
she said,
I did, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Mr. BA?
May I? If there are no other questions for Mr. Vivero, I just want to conclude with two thoughts. One, I want to echo what several council members said. Mr. Vivero stepped up to be the interim director for several months, and he really took a 30,000 degree. A lot of economic development, we think about, big projects and the stadium, this, that, but he really looked at the middle management and lower, entry-level positions with the department and put a lot of effort into that. And the second comment I want to make is we know we need to do better in certain regards, 100%. So those comments from the council members are not unheard. We will continue to work on being better for our residents and for the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, folks.
Have a good evening. All right, council members, we move on to fire.
Good evening.
Good evening, Chief, Deputy Chief. Mr. BA. We are now doing fire. Doing fire first? Yes, we are. Yeah.
So I'd like to welcome our Public Safety Director, our Fire Chief, and Assistant Chief. Just a couple of things to point out in terms of fire. When you do see the introduced budget, you will see a pretty big jump in the salaries and wages. That's primarily, well, not primarily, obviously you have contractual raises, but we settled the officer's contract this year. I believe there was a retro payment to the regular fire this year as well. So, when you settle late, you have to go backwards and square up with people. So you'll see a big number. Quite a big chunk of that is retro to give our officers, what they're due going back. As we know, both with police and fire, kind of the max staffing levels are set by city ordinance. So we kind of operate within that unless the council changes that. But obviously, these are large departments with large O&E, a lot of moving parts and so forth. So with that, I turn it back over to you, Madam Finance Chair.
Okay, so, Chief, before you get started, I just want to know if these books reflect, I know that we've been in conversation, I know that you're not fully staffed, I know that through ordinance, we're supposed to have X amount of firefighters and deputies, and so, does this reflect what the request will be? Like, is it in here, or you just went flat on, last year's and just basically what you have right now without the request? Because like you indicated, there's also asks, right?
Correct. This reflects what we should get.
Okay. Okay. So let's get started. So the first one is civilians, all right? Let's see here. So the increase is only like, so you stayed at 25, from 25, right?
Correct.
To 26, the request, okay. So 1 and 1,
The first page.
I don't see any changes here. I think the only thing that we see is just an increase in salary. But I do see a decrease in the administrative secretary. What's the reason for that?
And these. Say again, I'm sorry.
So I'm
The
looking at...
decrease is due to the, I'm sorry, to the two vacant,
I
due to
can't
two
hear you.
vacancies.
I don't know if it's me today, but I cannot hear.
The decrease is due to two vacancies, the administrative secretary and the management specialist.
Okay. How long has it not been filled?
The administrative secretary has been now about just under a year.
So I'm trying to understand something here. So the salary in '25 was 56, right? 316?
Correct.
And then the request for '26 is 50?
The position's been, the position is vacant, so this is the funding levels. Whoever's in that position moved on to a different part of the organization, so if and when that position's replaced, that's the number where,
That you're going to begin with, okay. All right.
yeah, that's the max. So we would hope to get someone into that role.
I see there's an increase as well, 6% of the fire prevention specialists, right? All right.
That's 'cause of-
Any questions on?
Madam Chair, please. No, she said, any question for
Oh,
us?
hold on a minute, what did you say? Okay, did you have anything to add?
No, in addition to those two vacancies, we also have a senior mechanic vacancy, a regular mechanic vacancy, and one clerk two vacant. One clerk two.
So I'm
clerk two.
having an issue right now. In the past books, we've seen where there's what you have, the vacancy, and, you know, what you're requesting. So I don't see that reflected. Can you see it?
Well, based on, you can see it, but you just have, because when you look at the, variation of 25 to 26, and you look at the last column that talks about the percentage of change,
Right.
that identifies what the change is, whether it's that they need this position, they're shifting the position, so based on what the percentage, so the one that you just talked about, 56 to 50, looks like the scale of what the amount would be. So this person probably will come in at 50, which should change based on degrees, other things that are civil service requirements.
I'm just saying these books don't reflect, it doesn't say that the position is empty. Nowhere in these books, so that's where I'm having the difficulty.
We approve funding levels.
Okay.
Right, so like even you go to the second page, you have 371 funded firefighter positions. How many do we have today? Like specifically like today?
The fighters is, you said firefighter, correct?
Yeah, like, you know, I'm illustrating a point. I mean, like.
Okay, but wait, I'm sorry. So this is a perfect example. It says here that we budgeted for 9, CY 26-9, it says deputy chiefs, it says 2 vacant.
Right, so
It
in that
sees it,
case,
so
yeah.
I'm not seeing that in the other book, so that's why I'm asking
That's
this
fair.
question. How do you know that? I wouldn't know that, and that's why the question is, you went from 56 to 50, I see the negative, right? And that's what I'm asking. So now you're saying, no, it's empty. I wouldn't know that. But in the second page, I could see what the requests are and the amount of vacancies that there's there. I just wanted clarification on that.
Council President.
All right, Councilman Velez?
Yes, Council. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Clerk.
So going back to Administrative Secretary, it says that you have been vacated for a year almost, right?
Correct.
CFO, I don't know if you could answer this question for me, or if you know. What is the salary range for that secretary based on civil service? It starts from what to what? Based on
range?
civil service?
That, I don't have that info right now.
Okay.
As far as range, I don't have that.
Okay.
From
Councilman,
civil
there is
service.
none.
There's none for the administrative secretary?
No.
Okay, so...
And our contracts, other than police and fire, don't have salary
Okay,
guides.
so in other words, did the union, did you guys agreed on contract, if you hire somebody after that year, will start on 56, on $50,000, not 56?
When the department head puts in a request to fill a position, they put a range in that. It's called the 380 form. It goes through various layers of sign-off, the BA being the last one with the CFO. That gets put on for DCA waiver. So it could be the number 50, or the department head could choose to put 40 to 50. that final number, as long as it's not, the only time the union would get involved is if we have similar, people in similar positions and we have now a discrepancy between what people make. That's really the only time for the union to get involved.
So to be fair, and I could compare the same statement I just said with the Director of Community Development. Why, if a position had been vacated for a year in economic development, improvement, in community improvement, have been vacated almost a year, and whoever you hire is coming with a salary increase. In this case, this is being vacated a year, and it's coming with a low salary. So, o nos hacemos rolo o nos peinamos. In other words, what are we going to do? Or dance or not dance? Are we going to offer this just to future individual coming with it? Or are we going to have preference and what department should get a raise coming in and through the door and not fulfilling a position that we don't know how they're going to fulfill it? For example, you stated that we're going to increase that salary for community improvement without having even know if the person is going to fulfill 100% of his job, but we're coming in with a salary increase. In this case, we have a secretary vacated for almost a year, and the salary is less than the person that left the position. The other one is the manager specialist is being vacated only a month or 2 months, okay, and whoever's coming into that position, okay, is going to get a 3% salary increase. You follow me, right?
Yeah, but we're approving not individual employee increases. We're approving
For the title?
the top funding. But I want to make one comment because, just because this position hasn't been filled for some time doesn't mean there's no need for it. Not to get too much into details, but prior to my start here, one of the assistant BAs was assigned to the fire department. They currently have the benefit of that. That won't last forever. So, that's why I wouldn't recommend removing any positions. I think the funding has to stay because the support needs to be there.
And let me be clear here, and I don't want people in the audience thinking or out over there in TV land. I'm not against fulfilling any position in the city of Paterson. We are understaffing in every level of any department, even in public safety. We could talk that all day, all night regarding the lack of, the understaffing that we have in the city of Paterson. But at the same time, I always say to the union members, you ask for more, they will give you what they want. And what we want is that people that comes in to the city of Paterson to work, or those that are working in the city of Paterson, feel proud that they're taking home a decent salary. But in this case, I'm talking about people that are not working, that are not hired, and they are giving money or cutting money on that position. But, it's only my take. I'm probably going to be on all night. I don't know if CFO did the right percentage on all this salary. Hope so it came through, or with the computer, that we're not missing $100 or $200 or less or more, whatever it is. But let's keep on moving. I just, but we need to fulfill those positions, but we need to lift the morale. And I'm going to come later on with a case that you guys are going to drop the mic. You'll see. But we need to lift the morale and we'll employ the city of Paterson.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. Director, Chief, good evening. I see that on the first page, we have no new position available, so we have 25. We budgeted for 25. I don't see any vacancy on the first, which is fire line civilian operation, correct? So we're going up $70,000, $203, 4.9% on salary, on salary and wage, and that's the first page that we have that in front of us. And the second one, Chief, on salary and wage, the fire line civilian operation, I see that we have 18 vacancies, but we budget that in 2025, and we budgeted that on 2026 budget, the same 18 vacancy there's any reason why we haven't been able to fill those positions. For example, deputy chief, so we got 2 vacancies, deputy chief, captain, we got 4 vacancies, and firefighters, we got 12 vacancies. And there was a budget in 2025. The funding was available in 2025.
As of now, it hasn't been approved to fill those positions.
I'm sorry?
It has not been approved to fill those positions as of yet.
Any specific reason why?
We're waiting for DCA approval.
So so we haven't get the approval to fill those positions, even though the money is in the budget.
Correct.
So what we do is we do the we move the budget to another line item at the end of the fiscal year because we never use that money. Correct?
That one's slated just for these positions, but
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
But so what we do. So this is my question: if you have 18 positions that you budget in 2025. And we budget in 2026 again, and we haven't hired anybody. So we do the transfer of fund at the end of the fiscal year, which is something that I'm very concerned. Chief, I want to make sure that our fire department are fully staffed. And we already budgeting. We budgeted in 2025 last year. I don't know why we're not hiring those positions. That's my biggest concern. And when it comes to the fire department, you guys making us look good. I see you. When it comes to inspection, you guys go up there. And I want to say this, the only way that we're going to get a surplus in the city of Paterson, in each department, that one day we're going to get off transition to A, is by increasing our ratables. How we increase our ratables? Making our department more effective, making sure that our department do the job and bring more revenue to the city. How we bring more revenue? Having the right staff. It's plain and simple. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here. So that's the reason why when I see that, it really caught my attention. When we're going through this budget hearing, I want to make sure, and I know that our fire department, they bring money back into the city a lot. I see the inspector doing the work, and we have a fire inspection. That fire inspection will be done on that day that is scheduled. I'm a witness of that because of the private sector that I'm dealing with. So I want to make sure that we fill those positions. And if we need to have additional compensation, let's have those additional compensation. I just want to make sure that our fire department is fully staffed to get the job done in the city of Paterson.
Madam
Thank
Chair.
you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Sure.
Yeah, because
Is that Mr. B.A.?
So I just want to make clear, this is a snapshot in time, these vacancies, right? So if we had budget hearings in May, there'd be vacancies on here. If we did them a month from now, there'd be different vacancies. Deputy chief and captains we're working through that subject with DCA. There's information they ask for, there's things they're asking for, so we're working through that. The firefighters, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, you'll always have vacancies because there's only 2 classes a year. So I think one of the classes, that we just got a new influx of recruits, and now there'll be another class in some amount of months, right? Speak to that, please, if you may.
We have 14 recruits. Well, 3 just came on the line because they had their EMT certifications. 11 are just starting their EMT course, so they should be on the line in the beginning of September. Once we get them on the line, we're going to see a substantial decrease in our overtime for firefighters.
Good.
Madam Chair.
Council President?
So, to our chief, can you talk about the revenue generated? Because I know you've done your due diligence in knowing what that dollar amount is. But also, I know we talked about it in public safety. Now we're into a new year with our new committee. But I would like us to move forward into the conversations regarding the other towns and sharing the costs of ambulance services and those other things, which will also cause revenue to flow back into the city, which will help with some of the TCOP and some of these needs that are listed here. So I know we had some discussions around it. We're looking into some language, but I would really like to see us bring that language together in public safety so I can bring before this council so that we can help your department do their job more diligently, which will also bring revenue into the city, but it also holds the other towns accountable for the work that's being done across the different towns and not letting Paterson foot the bill for all of that stuff. So can you talk about the revenue that's been generated in your department?
So far in 2025, the Fire Prevention Bureau generated a $2.1 million with a projected increase for 2026. Our EMS division collected $4.9 million in revenue. The shared services through the BA's office, we have reached out to our shared service partners, and we're trying to have them sit at the table with us so we can come up with a new MOU where they will pay also for our services into their jurisdictions.
Thank you. So, BA, as stated, we talked about that language through our Chair of Public Safety with the Fire Department in the past. I would love to see that language come forward, us bring it together through legal, Corporation Counsel, and then bring it before this council so that it's not just to generate revenue, which is what we need, right? Because we're facing these deficits every year, but it's more so that when someone calls for our fire department, Paterson gets first dibs. You're not sharing services, and if you are going to other towns, they're paying as you go there. We've been footing the bill for it in totality, and now it's time for us to reach out, extend these letters out to those other towns so that they can pay back into this as well. Thank you. That's all. I just want to put that on the record. So I'm looking forward to that coming back. Mr. CFO?
Just one comment, based on specific to police and fire. If 10 firemen leave, let's just say in October, they have buyouts. So that's $1 million that you don't see on here. So you see it in the adjustments.
I can't hear you. Said if 10 firefighters leave, what happens?
Let's say in October, if 10 firefighters leave, they have buyouts. So let's just say it's $1 million that you don't see budgeted for.
Right.
So that's in the adjustments. So police and fire is never going to be under budgeted. We should really budget more. And
yeah,
they're
that's
never
not even my
come in
concern. I knew that, but
yeah,
that wasn't my
concern.
concern.
That's specific to Councilman Mendez's comments that we might be under and we might transfer.
Yeah,
for those two departments, we're most likely always going to have to transfer in based on buyouts and when people leave. And
that always
and that type of
fluctuates. I
movement.
understand that. Thank you, Madam Chair.
And
Madam
just
Chair?
Councilman
so, one second real quick. I know that, Chief, we have been in conversation, just even today, we were discussing, we need to have another meeting, specific just with fire, all right? And so that'll be coming up, Council President and Councilwoman Cotton and Councilman Omar. So thank you for that. Councilman Kalik?
Thank you, Madam Chair. First, I want to thank you for all you do, the chief and your whole department. I'm keep hearing about salaries and increases for my council colleague as well. These are contractual. We got nothing to do with it. Let the union and the administration work with it. I mean, it's, I don't want to say bother me, but it is what it is. We're not here to give anybody increase or anything. There's a job between union and the administration when the contract is up and it's come in front of us and we vote for it and we done with it. And I see the budget is same as last year. The increase, what has happened is contractual. We got nothing to do with it. Thank you for keeping it as it is. You know we are financially cash-strapped. I know each year our community expect to have more firemen, more police officers out there. But at the same time, we are doing what we could do.
Okay.
And thank you, Mr. B, as well.
Thank you very much, Councilman Kalik. All right, so everyone saw, you know, the uniformed, okay? Book 5105, and we can see. I could see that there's obviously the chief. We are right now, there's 2 vacant deputy chiefs, 16 battalion chiefs, 70 captains, which 4 are vacant, and 269 firefighters, of which 12 are vacant. But the ones you just indicated, did you not say that you had 11?
Currently, we have 8 firefighter vacancies. In August 1st, we're expecting 5 more openings due to retirements, so it'll bring us up to the 13.
Okay. All right. Operating expenses. Okay, you budgeted for $1,766,000, proposed $2 million, a difference of $233,787. Okay. The next page, council members, if you're looking, we have clerk 2s. So please explain this. Is there any vacancies here? Because I don't see it.
Any what? I'm sorry.
in the clerk two, Chief Communications Officer, Director of Communications Center, Supervisor in Public Safety Telecom. So you see how you budgeted for one, asking for one, right?
That's all we have, yeah.
No, I know,
Just-
but I'm saying because in the first page, I had a question, not that I tell you who to pay and what to pay, but there was a question, and what was intriguing to me is to see how, and so I asked a question, and you said, oh, there's a vacancy. And I
Correct.
didn't know that, and you said, but the next page showed the vacancy. So I'm asking now here, with the clerk too, is this position filled
For the clerk too? Yes.
currently? Okay. Chief Communications Officer? Okay.
Except for public safety telecommunicators.
You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I just for future, just if something is vacant, just like the previous page, please indicate that it's vacant.
They're in the process of hiring those. They were already approved. They're getting
But it's still, but it's vacant. Even if it's
Correct,
approved,
currently
it's still
vacant. Correct.
All right. All right, anyone has any more questions for fire? I see that, the operating expenses, 850, stayed flat, 850. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add, Chief?
No, just what we talked about the openings, that's about it. I know that we have one vacant deputy chief opening, but as of August 1st, we're going to have two. One is retiring. Our battalion chiefs right now, we're full, but once the two battalions get promoted to deputy, we'll have two openings there as well. And as far as captains, we have one currently vacant and two leaving in August 1st as well via retirement. So those will be openings.
So we have to be really mindful also, Mr. BA, again, that is in your purview, to make sure that we abide also and making sure, because it is my understanding that, every amount of firefighters has to have X amount of battalion chiefs, and so we have to, specifically with this department, which I know that, we're running out of the fire, they're going into it. So I just want to make sure that they're fully staffed appropriately, right? And that when you don't need, that you can make the decrease, you do that. All right? All right. Thank you. Mr. BA, you don't have anything else to say, right?
No, I just want to thank the chief, and, they run a very tight ship. The areas that we can talk about to kind of, claw back some revenue, we have honest conversations about overtime. We're looking at EMS building with those smaller towns that we've been doing it basically for free for a lot of years. So we're having all the right conversations.
Good. Thank you very much, Director, and thank you, Chief. Thank you, and Deputy.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
All right, I'll see you hopefully Friday. Okay.
Thank you.
So next is Public Works, DPW. Huh? All right, so you know what? You're up here, hold up. Chief, OIC, Chief, Director. Director. You're up there. It should have been,
Come on, Chief.
fire, police.
Come on.
Should have
I don't
been
know why you
police
did it
and
that
fire
way, but-
together,
Come on up, Chief.
I looked at it like,
separate.
I thought you had some rationale. All right, let's go. All right, council members, we are now looking at public safety. Good evening, OIC and Director.
Good evening.
We're looking at this budget for the Public Safety Police Department. We're looking at sworn officers, civilians, crossing guards as the first. I see here one police director, 4 special police. We have special police? What, aren't they? Okay. Did you want to add something, Mr. BA? Oh, you already opened. I said, hey,
Madam Chair?
go ahead,
Okay.
Council President.
So I see, just coming through, everything is pretty much the same as last year. You just included the percentages of contractual agreements in here, which I respect. Can you provide a copy of the locations of where the crossing guards are located in the city. I always talk to Officer Mazza, I work with him all the time, to make sure their locations sometimes, and I know we have a revolving door situation with that, where sometimes crossing guards, for whatever reasons, they leave and don't return. But I just want to make sure, as we're going into the school year for September, that all of the specific locations are filled, and if they're not filled, that we ensure that they are filled before school starts. But if you could just provide that information, we can look at that, okay?
Absolutely.
All right, so we are now,
It could come to, yeah, it doesn't matter.
we have the office of the police chief, one managed specialist, and like you said, everything is like pretty much just
On every
flat,
page.
and then the
Yeah,
increases.
Madam
So we could just like move forward unless you have something you want to highlight,
Yeah.
okay?
Councilman
Yes.
Mendez.
Following is traffic division. Okay, one record support tech, 4 parking enforcement officers. Flat, and again, you see the small increase of the 2% increase, correct? Okay, police records,
Councilman Mendez.
I'm sorry. We are, again, all of these positions are filled. Are there any vacancies that,
So there are some vacancies. Our administrative captain, Pearl, has submitted a staffing report for the civilians and submitted it to the administration, and they're working with the administration to fill the vacancies, and more is in that report that was submitted.
but again, in the books, I don't see it. So I'm going to go back to the same thing. When I'm looking at it, I'm looking at pretty much, flat, just
Is it
2%
done?
increase, but I'm not seeing which ones they are.
Is it done? It doesn't sound like it's done. Is it done? You said you're working with it. Is it done?
I'm sorry?
It doesn't sound as though it's done. You said we're working with. So is it a done list or is it a working, oh, it's a working document? So
Yes.
that's, okay. Okay.
Okay,
Documenting vacancies and also seeing how, with the police department, with civilians, we could structure things in order to free more police
So
out.
upon completion of what that looks like, can you just make sure the BA, can you have that sent to all council members? Because it doesn't, just based on it's a working fluid document, it's not something that's been solidified or totally requested. So just, can you just make sure that that is sent out so everyone sees it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Criminal Investigation Bureau, 1 keyboarding clerk, 1 record support tech, 2. Are they filled?
As far as these positions, they are. So I did notice a few discrepancies that we were trying to itemize, but Captain Pro, who handles the administrative services, the civilianized part, I was trying to work with him, but he was in the process of doing interviews for the hiring, so he wasn't able to be here, but that's something we could provide you.
Okay, and then we go to Juvenile Division, 1 police aide, is that filled?
Yes, that's filled.
Okay. It's flat, whatever percent increase here. This is all contractual, am I correct? That increase, I said it's contractual. No,
Yes, it's contractual.
Juvenile Division, okay. Motor pool, the same. Police cell block, we have full 5.
So I know we do have openings in this, and we're working with the administration and requesting for the DCA to be able to post some of the positions.
Okay. Again, I really want to see that,
There's 3 cell block aides that are currently posted for hire.
okay. But what I'm saying, and I'm going to continue repeating it, I'm looking at this, it does not show that there's a vacancy. It's just saying 25, we had 5, we're requesting the same 5, very minimal increase, but it's not letting me know it's not full, because this is why sometimes, a lot of our departments, are not functioning as they should, because although we're looking at something, we don't know that they're vacant, unless, obviously, that it goes through personnel, and then you're putting a request. But I don't know about you guys, I'm not looking at the personnel or the job list to see what's vacant, or who's leaving, who's not leaving. We don't know that. So please, just for future, this needs to reflect. It used to reflect it before, and I'll repeat it again, I don't know why it's not reflecting.
Madam Chair.
Council President, Madam Chair.
Councilman Mendez and Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. OIC Director and staff, thank you for being here in front of us. I understand, I hear that there's some vacancy, but you are in the process of filling those vacancies. But I want to go straight to police uniform. We have the number of 429 on the book here. Chief, Deputy Captain 11, Lieutenant 30, Sergeant 64, and Police Officer 321. That's the accurate number right now at this moment as we speak?
No.
No?
So, currently, we have a table of organization for 439 officers.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? 439?
Yeah,
Right now, instead of 429, we got 439.
if we're at maximum staffing, we're at 439. We are currently at 415 officers.
415 right
Yes. That's including all ranks.
now, as we speak. Okay,
Yes.
415. Thank you.
Okay, so, thank you, Madam Chair, Council President. You say that we only have uniform PD 400 what?
415 currently employed.
415, and that's scattered between departments, all the 415, right?
Yes, all the different divisions.
Correct.
That's department-wide, Councilman, and that does include 10 recruits that are going to graduate the Newark Police Academy on August 17th. That will put us at 415.
415.
Correct.
And still, we under,
Including?
Including.
Oh, not in here. I'm sorry, Chief.
I'm sorry, Councilman. The 415 includes the 10 recruits that are presently being trained in Newark.
Oh, they're not with us yet.
They're not with us until August 17, and at that point, we will be at 415.
Just a point of order, Councilman Velez had the floor, so let's stick with the protocol. Councilman Velez, if you'll
But now
continue.
that's the right answer now, so.
I understand, but
I
you have to
don't-
allow
I
your
don't-
colleague to
I
speak.
don't
Councilman
get-
Velez?
I don't get upset for the commercial segment. So, Director, basically, I'm looking at all the hiring, basically on the civilian part, you're not hiring a lot of people. The number are being steady, 64 sergeants, 321 police officers. The numbers are still the same from 2025, 2026. I'm a little bit concerned because we have praised that we have hired a lot of police officers in this administration. Can you tell me roughly if we hire 100 in 2 years, how many are still in Paterson? Because the numbers still are the same, 429.
So, if I may, Director, so our current number is 415. We have fluctuated over the years. So in 2024, we had approximately 58 officers retire or resign. And in 2025, we had 34 leave. And then this year alone, we have 22 officers that have left. So that's why we're at the 415.
Okay, so the message I want to send that we still need more police officers to catch up at least with the calls, the system, and making sure that the residents receive a prompt attention to their calls. Any plan of OIC that the state has to at least balance the numbers of police officers that we have moving forward to see if the state has, because the administrative part is being run by the state. Any plan that they have to support you to have more police officer in this 2026? Any good surprise that they want to give us to make sure we could hire more police officers, at least to bring it up to 500?
Not at this time, Councilman. I'm not aware of any plans to increase the overall table of organization of the police department. As you know, we are receiving funding from the Attorney General's office that is being used specifically for crime reduction and violent crime reduction overall, and we are supplementing officers with that funding that we're getting from the Office of the Attorney General, but there are no current plans to increase the table of organization at this time.
You know, and I had to praise your leadership, Captain Murray. and the utilizing of this funding to reduce crime, and I see it. We call you, you know, you have the people on place when we call you. But administration, I always said that we need to budget the police different because they are the core spine from this community, especially when we understaff. You know, I could see officer out there trying to get a lunch inside a car, not taking breaks, the sandwich in the hand, and moving to calls. And I want the residents to understand, we receive calls that why the police is not responding to a block driveway, or why they not responding to a burglary or robbery when it happens, you know, when already after the fact. We have a CAS system that when they call and your call is next, and it's a call of a shooting, or there's a call of a massive violence, or there's a call of active incident, it could be a medical attention and need a police officer there. So your call will go drop down to that CAS system. I don't know if we could go back to what we had before, the different system, the Phoenix was, I don't know. But I had to commend the police department because they're doing a lot with less. And I could testify the way they've been doing it. Thanks God the grant that we received to community policing, that they helps a lot to alleviate other issues. And we brace for that. That's why when we receive grants, okay. I just saw something that was. Oh, okay. Thank you. You let me know later. All right. So as I say, thanks God for the grant that we received for community policing and other things, but we need to lift the morale of our police officers, you know, and making sure the money is where it's supposed to. Administration, once again, I know you're trying to work with them, and you are working with them. So moving forward, before this administration finish, that they could keep the officers they have, and we could sit down and say, wow, they brought more officers under their leadership. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, so council members, and I know that Councilwoman, you wanted to speak, but I'm going to allow them, the BA, you wanted to make a statement?
I just want to clarify one item. OIC, you'd mentioned we're going to be at 4:15 when the 10 come out of the class. That does not account for the 21 we will be sending.
Correct.
To the next class.
Correct. We're currently screening Mr. BA for a new class of approximately 24 new candidates.
Correct.
Which will happen sometime in September.
Right. So my office in DCA has signed off an additional 24. So it's always a moving target to hit that magic number of 439. Some municipalities that don't have financial constraints, when they know someone's retiring, they hire the replacement 6 months before they go. You know, I don't know if we're in. I don't know if we're in that, you know, if we could have that luxury, but it's something we should talk to DCA about.
So,
That's
Mr.
the
BA,
part,
and
yeah.
I want to say this to you, okay, no, we need to.
Right.
This has been a conversation year after year after year about us increasing the uniform officers. There's no way that, you know, Newark being the first, you know, city, Jersey City, then us, the third largest city, they have 1,000, 1,100, 1,000, and Paterson has 429? Come on, we need to do something about that.
And just to add to that, you know, last budget cycle, it was 10 million from the state in support. Now it's 8.5-ish. We see the trend. So we're 2 budget cycles away from having a massive void because we're providing a certain service, we're doing special units. So in the next year or two, we all collectively need to figure this out.
So, Council President, Madam Chair, just to pick a point here, that conversation cannot be only with DCA. We have to speak to an Attorney General to make sure that he understands what our city really needs. To take off the handcuff of our police officer, they will do a lot more. They will do a lot more. And I think that, and when I say taking off the handcuff of our police officers right now, why we have a problem with the bikes running up and down, why we had the problem about people loitering, or things that simple crimes that look simple, but if they got the handcuff that they cannot take care of it, because the Attorney General is holding their hands, it puts our city in more jeopardy. So that conversation regarding DCA is in the financial part, okay, making sure that if we are having short 10 officers, that not give us a line of work to do before to hire another 10 officers to bring them in,
Okay.
and to facilitate that faster, especially in funding. I know they give us $8 million. They should give us more based on the amount of officers that we have that doing double, triple work.
But Councilman, you realize that they were getting 10 million and they were only expending 8 million.
I know,
That's why
no.
that 8 million, and it's
Yeah,
not.
but they're not spending it. They spending it wise. They're not
No,
spending
but
it.
nobody's
Like
saying
I
that.
got
What you're
10
saying
million,
is that
then
we
you
need to
spend
ask
10
for
million.
more, and they're going to question that because every year you were getting 10 million, but you were expending 8 million. That is why the cut this year for the 8
Well,
million. In addition, Councilman, it's like two different things, right? I'm talking about something that we need to have at least 125 more officers than what we
Correct.
have. I mean, in reality, we should be at 600, okay? But we have to, at the end of the day, is it sustainable, right? Because that's the piece. Then it's all the fringe benefits and all the other things. So, that's not going to the Attorney General. That has to go through DCA because we are a transitional aid city. We receive transitional aid, therefore we have to follow an MOU. So if we are not doing the things that we need to do to try to increase, fees, right?
Table, yeah.
And ratables, then, we're not going to get the request, but
Well-
we're going to still, as a request,
Well,
that is something.
picking on that. So I commend the OIC that they gave him $10 million and he spent wise. That's why he didn't spend up to 10 or more. What I'm saying is, everybody remember when we did the census in 2020? We came and we was praising that we became the first-class city. In what? In what? First-class city in what? Financially? No. Are they giving them, the federal government is giving us the money for first-class city? No. So right now, we are first-class city, making it possible with the resources that we have. But really, we're supposed to be first-class city if they're going to consider us first-class city in the state, federal, and any agency that had the ability to disperse funding to treat us as a first-class city. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Very much. So we'll have Councilwoman Cott make her statement, and we'll end with Kalik, and we'll say thank you. Okay?
Thank you, Madam Finance Chair. I just want to say we're so used to saying Captain Murray, like we've been saying Captain Murray for 30 years.
Oh, I see.
And it's hard to, I call you Chief, even though they say you're OIC, but you're really Chief to me. Because we go back many, many years, and you've always been a community person. You've always been out there. Everybody always knew who you were. But I just want to say that even though that, we're saying that we get new officers, you say we're getting 15 more this year and then another 21. But you got to remember, it takes about 6 months to get through the training. So if I start out today, they're not coming to next year. So we won't be able to. And I think that everyone needs to understand that. You get these officers that come in, and they might work 2 years, and they go to a city that's not civil service. Because if they go to a civil service city, that city then has to pay the city of Paterson back for the money they spent for the training. So they go to these cities that don't have civil service, and their stuff don't follow them. Like, people think everything's going to follow them, and everything really doesn't. So I just want to say that, and you know what I think that's really hurting us, and I think no one really wants to understand that, is that medical benefits. You got your guys paying 35% of a premium, of health benefits. So if a policy is $40,000, they're paying 35% of that. So you're talking about some of these guys are going out now and you said 30 one year and then 50 another year, you know, they're going out, some guys are paying $1,200, maybe more a month in medical benefits, and when they retire, they pay zero. So they look at the money they're spending for medical, and then, you know, and then they can still go find a job somewhere. So I think that's why we continue to keep having this turnover of not being able to keep the officers, because it is a lot of work. And I always say, I see them out, I make sure I say something to them. You know, I always say, you got to, especially all of our city workers, we need to let them know that we truly appreciate all the work that they do. Because most of the departments are understaffed. Most of them are understaffed. They don't have enough people there, but I do want to commend our police department. I didn't say it about my fire department, but I do, because I see the hours you work and I see all the things that you have to do. But a lot of stuff is taking place now, especially when we just got hit with a $24 million health cost increase. 24 million in 1 year is not no little bit of money. That's a lot of money that you have to come up with.
That increase in transition.
And you got no pay increase, and you 24 million. So that's a lot. So we have to look at all of that, and most of these guys are looking at that now, and they're going to other places where they can get their medical benefits, and they don't have to pay anymore for medical. They can find another job. They can do something else. So that being said, I appreciate you, fire department. I mean, police department. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Council. Thank you so much, Councilwoman Kine, and we will end with Councilman Clique.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, OIC. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Director. Thank you for always responding to our call. And also, my council colleague, the reality is in front of us, the numbers that we have. We could wish for a lot of things. I wish I was a billionaire, but I'm not. The numbers are right here. Let's stick to the numbers, what we have. I wish we had 2,000 police officers in the city of Paterson, but that's not our reality, that's the wish. Let's work with what we have in front of us, and let's go through this budget process. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. OIC, you have anything to say? Okay.
Oh, thank you, Madam
Thank you very much.
Thank you, IC.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Director.
Director, DPW, come on down. You're the next contestant.
They are here first.
I know, but he has it like this. Just so you all know, we didn't set up the schedule, who goes first, second, and third, okay? So blame it on the BA. All right, Director Rodriguez.
Hello.
Can I say deputy or supervisor or
Let's use
Mike
whatever.
G is fine?
We prefer first names, Bill and Mike.
Bill and Mike. All right. Council members, you have before you the Director's Office, Engineering, Traffic and Lighting, Street and Road, Snow Removal, Street Repair, Auto Maintenance, Parks and Shade Tree, Recycling, Facilities, and also Recreation.
No recreation.
No.
Sorry?
We don't do recreation. Recreation
It
does
says
own.
it here.
Not in, not that, it's separated.
Okay.
We've never prepared recreation budget.
You're
Even though
not-
they're divisions, they always done their own.
Either the BA or Senator Wembley speaks to that. But the BA
Okay.
will have to.
Any department or division that's not here will fall under administration at the end. So, you know,
No, the
anything
reason I
else?
said that is because I read it off
It's
the,
on the worksheet, but we've never done it.
okay. Fine. So you're telling me not to look at the worksheet then?
Excuse me?
You're telling me not to look at the worksheet? Okay. All right, council members, just look at these items, see what increases, what requests. I see that there's 7. I'm not going to go through each line. There's no need for it.
Council President.
Good.
Hold up. If you don't have any questions on page 1, we move forward, so then you can start asking your questions on the things that are concerned to each of you.
We going page by page here?
No, I want you to look at it, right? And then we can move forward,
Yeah.
because if you look at it, there's no increases.
Right.
Example, the first one,
Right.
you have 7 account clerks and you're requesting the 7. Hopefully,
Madam-
they're all full, because again, I'm not even going to get into the what's vacant and what's not right now.
Madam Chair?
You have a question on page 1?
I have a question overall, already review everything.
Go ahead.
Just got 3 questions. That's
Okay.
it. And I think that will be the more effective way. We look at everything and we ask one question. Page by page, we're gonna stay here all night, basically.
Councilman
Exactly, Director, on page 1, I see there's no increase, we got the same 15 position. On page 3, I know you, city engineer, on 2025, we budget for 1, 2026, I see 0, but we keep,
No,
we
that
see
should-
0.
That should say 1.
Huh?
It's backwards.
So that's a mistake.
It's backward. So it's from 0 to 1. That's wrong, right? Okay, it's wrong. So 2025 we got 0. Now 2026 we got 1. The new traffic engineer is gonna make 160,000. That's a new salary, correct?
Yeah, swap the assistant engineer with the engineer. That's what they did. So you see how assistant engineer is the first one
Okay.
that says 1 of 1. We no longer have an assistant engineer at this time. So now you have 1 engineer and no assistant. So that those 1 and 1 and 1 and 0 should be swapped.
Okay, I understood that. Now, let me go to the.
Hold on, Councilman Mendez, to your question. So 0 in 25, engineer, city engineer. You
We
just
don't-
said that in.
We don't have, the 0 should be on the assistant engineering.
And you're requesting for 26 and city engineer.
Yes.
Assistant.
No, not engineer.
No, engineer. It says here, in
The-
25, you had 1
request is wrong.
assistant municipal engineer, which was a part-time.
Yeah, it should be, it should be switched. We're requesting for assistant engineer for 160,000 and zeroed out the assistant engineer for the 80,000.
So they're taking the first one away, so the first one should.
So you're only.
First item should say
That's it.
1.
Everything else is the same.
First and second.
So I can shed some light. In January, our previous engineer left. We posted it for the position. The only applicant was our assistant engineer.
Yes.
As part of that interview process, we added another position, a CAD operator.
Yes.
Not added, we filled it. The assistant engineer, who is now interviewing for engineer, felt that the job could be done without backfilling the assistant engineer position. Okay? But we haven't 1,000% let go of the idea of the
No.
assistant engineer, because we're constantly evaluating what's working and what isn't. Because if work has to be farmed out, we're not really saving any money. So as we sit here today, we have a full-time salaried city engineer. We have not filled the assistant engineer position as of yet, but we reserve the right to do so if it's in the best interest of the organization.
Yes.
Okay, so let me continue. I got two more questions.
Yeah.
So, and as I understood it, the city engineer and the assistant engineer, I'm clear with that. The question that I have with having that position filled, we're not gonna be able to outsource engineer work from third-party company, or we're
Yeah.
gonna be able to have everything in-house?
No, definitely, we still gonna, there's certain projects that we have to outsource that our in-house engineer cannot do. And plus, we're doing so much work in the city that some of it we do have to outsource.
So with that being said, Mr. VA, it's extremely important that we cover that position, additional position with assistant engineer, because I know how much work, how much money we'd spend going outside to third-party entity, private engineer firm. We're spending a ton of money out of our budget going through that, so it will be way more cheaper for us to fill out those 2 positions. So please, let's keep that in mind. We'll save a tremendous amount of money on that. So on the starting wage on the net position on the division of a street, I see you have 12 new positions.
Where, Councilman, I'm sorry, where? Which?
Division of street, yeah. So the budget is from 2.575 million to 3,125,611. So you got 12 new positions.
No, these are positions that were in the budget prior, that weren't filled, that we're asking to rehire.
To rehire.
Yes.
So are those positions filled right now as we
No,
speak
they're
or not?
No.
So do we have those 12
Yes.
vacant positions?
Yes.
And we budget last year for those
Yes.
12 vacant positions? Okay, so and you got labor 1,
Plus, it shows the 3% increase that they have got in unit increase. So these positions show that also.
Okay, got it. All right, so keep it in mind, Director, that that's the biggest hire, that you have those 12 positions.
Yes.
And knowing that they're vacant, how that's going to impact the service that we provided to our community. We're going to see some improvement. I know you guys running around the clock because of the lack of personnel and staff when it comes to the bulk, when it comes to all the stuff that we have to do, and I have to be calling you constantly, and I know what you guys doing. So it's important that we please fill it up those positions. I know we budgeted last year, we budgeted this year again. Let's use our money wisely. I know we will save a lot of money in overtime if we fill it up, you know.
Yeah.
All right, and I know you got the approval to fill it up, okay? Right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Well,
All right,
not
Thank
from
you very
DCA,
much,
yeah,
Councilman Mendez.
We created 380 forms for the request for DCA, but we haven't got into all of them yet. We got some back, but not all of them yet from the DCA.
So we're still waiting for DCA for some position.
Definitely.
All right.
Thank you very much, Councilman Mendez.
Thank you.
Councilman Kalik, then Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Bier, as I was going through this budget for DPW, I saw from last year to this year, probably they're asking for close to 50 positions. Total probably close to 50, correct?
48.
48? I'm off by 2. Okay, I'm cool. You know, it's a good percentage. I just estimated. We would like to see all these positions get filled. So when this next year budget come in front of us, we don't want to see those vacant positions. 48. You hear me, Council colleague? 48 vacant positions out there.
How does the department
48 is not request, it's there already. Is budgeted, basically.
So, Councilman,
until the introduction of the budget or adoption of the
So when we had our internal meetings with Public Works, this was probably several months ago, you know, we sent out these workbooks of last year, and they send back kind of like, hey, if all the money was there, here's what we need to run our show. We're going to do as much as we can of that list.
So when in August, what's the date? August 11th? Okay. When it comes in front of us, I'll specifically look into DPW, those requests, and based on that, I'll vote yes or no. I'm just letting you know.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Thank you.
Councilman Velez?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. Going back to the statement of my second ward councilman, it was something that I had to say how it is. This administration had a BA that no matter how much employee DPW needed, they didn't sign for it. He put a number to how many employees he needed. That BA never signed for those 475. Never say, go higher. You got it. He budgeted, but they had the real handcuff in the feet and the hands and in the mind that they cannot hire. So now with this administration having a new BA, understanding that to get work done, he needs to fulfill and fill the positions of those core service department for be able to have less complaint, right? And to see that they are doing the work. Right now, once again, DPW is the same situation of Paterson PD. They working double, 3 times, 4 times because they don't have all the staffing and the resources in place. If they have better trucks, if they have better equipment, they're going to do the job faster and with in the time faction of they do it. But it's 48, you say, right? 48. I know the BA is going to give the green light to go and hire. Right, Mr. BA, you're going to give the green light to go hire those individuals and start the process as soon as possible before the end of the year.
As much as possible. As the director knows and many other directors know, especially while we were waiting for a T number, I was very cautious about approving positions because, you know, the last thing you want to do is tell someone they have a job and then a month later that they don't have the job anymore. We're in
Okay.
we're in a much safer space now, so I hope paperwork will move quicker.
So I don't like to mention names, but I'm not going to mention the name, but I probably CFO could look into this or through the personnel, how you going to have an employee of a DPW 30 years in serving the city of Paterson, 32 years serving the city of Paterson, and still his salary is at $47,000. That's something that, you know, I could give you the name later, and you could look into that, because I don't want to put that on record in public, but I just want to let you know that has 32 years working in the city of Paterson and only get $47,000 in salary. So I don't know where the math was missed, or they missed him in the salary increase or whatever, but 32 years and $47,000, something's wrong there. So I will share the information later on with the BA or CFO to look into that.
If I may, Councilman, just a general comment about what you just said. The DPW, the DPW blue collar, non-supervision, their contract expires at the end of the year. So I've started the process of the next contract because I think we got to get out of this thing where we're out of contract for 3-4 years at a time. It just doesn't do good for anyone. That being said, I sympathize with what you're saying because when I opened that roster of employees and I saw the base salaries of what people make after 20 years as a laborer versus what someone starts out as, and there's only a couple $1,000s difference, I couldn't believe my eyes. So as I'm negotiating this next contract, I'm trying to create a way where we create separation in that to acknowledge people's years of service. So believe me, we're cognizant of that.
So good. So in saying that, everybody out there watching and here in this meeting, that what I was stating was the facts. He noticed it, and he's going to work on that because, listen, when you compare an employee from Prospect Park, and you compare an employee from Clifton, and you compare an employee, a truck driver, CDL license, they don't want to work for $40,000. They will go to Amazon and do 2 deliveries in one straight job and get the money easy, right? So we have to, Mr. BA, I understand we have to have this conversation with DCA. You know, we're not a city that we are going to receive peanuts. We're here to legislate for the residents, also for the employees, and have their back. But DCA had to understand that we are the 3rd largest city in the state of New Jersey, and we praise that they give us all this $1 million, right? But we need to make sure that spend wisely, and at the same time, make sure DCA look into this employee that they are working there, you know, to make sure that the service get to the resident Paterson. And leveling those salary revision is real important with DCA to lift the morale for our DPW employees. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We got a lot to do.
There's a lot, and I'm gonna just change some of the format of how you have them, because there's departments that pretty much are just clear,
Yeah.
and there's other, like DPW is more extensive, right? And so we have, although we all know we all gotta stay here.
Right.
But I'm gonna
Well, we stand
make some reconsideration.
I just have the one question for,
So Councilwoman Cotton and
Yeah.
Council President.
you know, my phone is always going off the hook. It's always ringing, which is fine. You need to explain out there why we don't have street cleaning on time. They need to hear because we tell them what it is. We try to tell them, but I can't see why we constantly have 8 trucks broke down.
There's a few issues with street cleaning
Like we
right now.
constantly have 8 trucks broke down.
No, we don't have 8 trucks broke down.
But 7.
We have 8 altogether. 7 altogether. I forgot one burnt up in the fire. But we have 7 sweepers. We got 7 routes a day. The problem is, and Councilman Velez is right, is keeping CDL drivers. We're paying them $40,000. They come here 2-3 months. They get the experience. They go, find a job somewhere else that they got the experience driving. And we have a rotating door right now, revolving door right now with CDL drivers and sweepers. And also we ran into a little hiccup with 3 of the sweepers with the same issue. They had a front engine issue, so they had to go get maintenance because they're under warranty by the vendor that we had. So today we had 4 sweepers out. We'll have 4 sweepers out tomorrow. We'll have the 3 sweepers out Friday, and then hopefully we'll get the other 3 sweepers back by the end of the week, so maybe we can have a full complement on CDL, on street cleaner next week. And we're also training 2 people that have CDLs and us that could drive the brooms for us if needed. We also have some other gentlemen, older gentlemen that used to be sweep operators that don't mind coming back and helping us out if need be to drive the sweepers. So, we're trying to work through and if we don't get the sweepers back, we are putting together a plan to Monday to do some hand cleaning with the city for certain streets, trying to get as much done as possible.
Right. And I just want to say, and I heard BA talked about the salaries and the contracts that's coming up. And I remember saying it before, I'm used to, well, what I find is that I look at civil service, I learn a lot about civil service. But what you find here in the city is that you have a clerk 2 in one department making one amount, then you have a clerk 2 in another department, but they still clerk 2s, but they're making a different amount of money. And when I'm seeing civil service, normally you make the same amount. Whether you in DPW, whether you in finance, whether you in the legal department, you normally would make the same amount. And I think that, BA, you really need to look into that civil service and make sure that, UEZ can't make, and you're a clerk 2, how you making more than a clerk 2 in Paterson City Council office? Like, how you making more? So that's something that really got to be looked into. Right. And also what I find is that we, and I mentioned it before, I'm used to seeing steps, meaning you get hired, a year from now you go to this amount, a year from now you go to that amount, until you max out. And normally max out would be 40, 50, 60,000. Once you max out, only thing you're getting now is your little 2% or 3% raise that your union contract negotiate for you. So,
that's why I agree
Mr.
with
BA,
the
if you
BA is
could,
doing now.
huh?
I said that's why I agree with the BA is doing now with the union, with the blue collar union. We're trying to implement the step system and everything he's doing now. I think it'll benefit the employees much better than what they're getting now.
They have to do, but Mr. BA, I know I had mentioned it to the last BA before about trying to implement steps. So somebody come in, they can gradually move up, and then once you max out, then you max out, you just get your normal raise and so forth. So, I mean, that's to me is another way of trying to get people's salaries more up there than they normally make it. Yeah. Thank you, my 2 directors. All right.
So, to the BA,
Madam Chair, sorry, something came up.
To all the directors that have come and those that will come, I'm just going to really address the BA for some things because I know these are asks of all of the departments, and if we were in a situation where we had the dollars and the cents to provide, then everything that everyone is asking would be provided. But in what is being requested by every department head, I'm going to make this request that to the administration that we look at in every department capital improvement. I know there was some years ago this council in our budget hearings we added capital improvement to identify in every department how many vehicles they had, how many were running, how many were broken. We need to go back into that dialogue with our department heads, especially in the scenario that Councilwoman Cotton just talked about, where there are 7 sweepers and 4 are up and running, or whatever that number looks like. We need to make sure that in those departments that's happening. Attendance, we need to look at the attendance in every department and how that impacts or affects the work that's being done. The scalability of the workforce or the workload that's being provided, whether it's revenue generating or not being generated, and what are our missed opportunities in every department. And then, as I previously stated, retention. When you hear DPW as well as other departments talk about people leaving, it was stated tonight that people that get CDL, they get the opportunity, and within 2 months they're leaving. So we have to identify. I think back in 2019, I did a scalability chart for the salaries, and I remember sending it to the director with the former BAs that were here. So I'm going to send it to you. Now you're the new BA, where it looks across the spectrum of all of our employees of where they are on their salaries and what it would look like in a possible negotiation scenario to get them up to at least a medium range because you have employees that work for the city for 25 to 30 years that can't even afford to buy a house in the city. So I just think that we need to look at that to identify what can be done in a conversation with DCA, with the governor involved, our state legislators, and the mayor to identify what can be done even as we go to approach this new time for negotiations and that. But there are some things that could be done creatively and collaboratively with all of those entities mentioned, as well as the council, so that when people come to work, they feel like they're appreciated. I don't want to be in a scenario again when we just had a union, they waited 5 years to get their contract settled. I think that's totally unacceptable that departments have to wait that long for a contract to settle, which we're not a part of negotiations. We are not, as a council, we're not a part of the conversations, but we come after it's ratified and voted on, and we vote, but we hear the employees and their complaints. So I think for you, Mr. BA, you are new, and I think you've been doing a yeoman's job being transparent and really bringing things into the right perspective and alignment of what the city really needs from a financial perspective alongside our CFO. So I'm just putting that on the table. I don't see you writing, but I know you'll go back and watch everything that's being stated. But all of these things have to be a part of the conversations. They can ask for as many staff members, but if the staff member don't have a truck, they still can't do the job. If they don't have a car, they still can't do the job. So those things have to be prioritized, as well as these other things when it talks about staffing and filling the vacancies. Thank you, Mr. BA.
Council President.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Finance Chair. I have one question, and I have a suggestion for the BA. After listening to the different departments, the question that I have is, are any of the department heads having to submit KPIs to you, key performance indicators, so that they're measuring as they're going, so that we're not getting to the end of a year and saying we bled out, that you can look at month 3 and see if they're hitting any of the targets, and if they're not, then it gives them an opportunity to go back and rework some things. Is that being done currently?
The answer is no, but I certainly, as I, continue on with the city of Paterson, definitely want to set clear objectives and expectations for our departments. So
Okay.
I plan to implement that, yes.
Thank you. And then the last question was, when we first started, I wanted to make sure that I heard you correctly. Recreation is no longer under DPW, is
No,
that
no,
just for the?
I'm sorry. It is the division of the DPW, but since I've been a director, recreation's budget's always been done with the administration.
That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just have a question. I see it, there's engineering and then there's operating expense. Total number of overtime for the entire department, do we have that?
I could get it for you. I don't
Yeah,
have it
that's
here.
the only thing I need.
Council President.
Oh, Mr. CFO, do you have it? The total number?
You want the total number budgeted, or you want the total number?
I want the total number for the whole
year to date?
department.
You want budgeted, or you want year to date?
Budgeted and additional.
We'll provide that for you.
Thank you. What is it?
We'll provide it for you. I don't
Okay,
have it here,
thank
but
you.
we'll provide.
Council.
How much?
Madam Chair. Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I have to ask you.
We done?
Yeah, I will finalize, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
So regarding the sweepers, and, I call you every time with the sweepers and et cetera. You're going to see this problem going around and around if we don't have a backup of sweepers. If we don't have a backup of sweeper, we could have employees, but sometimes we have to at least have 2 or 3 machines like the backup, just in case one breaks.
Councilman, we had 8 sweepers. We got 7 routes Monday through Thursday. We always had 1 backup, but unfortunately, when we had the fire in the building, the sweeper burnt. So we're in the process of replacing that now. So once we get that sweeper back, we'll be to a full complement, and we'll be able to do that.
Okay, so saying that, I just want to recommend a recommendation to my residents of the 5th Ward. I don't know, I'm not going to say other wards because then, my residents of the 5th Ward work with us. that garbage don't come from the skies. It's come from, I see how many business owners sweep the sidewalk, they throw it to the curb. I see residents throwing the garbage to the curb. If you're gonna clean your sidewalk, don't throw it to the curb, pick it up too, give us a hand. And if you know that today rained a lot, go out there, clean the cash base, because all that garbage that probably was in front of the house, right, is that now in the curb. So, Director, can you take a look into that tomorrow? Do a little route around how many cash bases are full of that garbage that came down to the corners. I know you're going to be on top of it, but just in case.
Sewer Department was here at 8 o'clock doing that, so we're on it.
Thank you, Director, and thank you for the hard work you're doing.
You have a good evening. Director Ramirez, Department of Health.
Good
and
evening,
Human
Council.
Services. All right.
I'll recuse you on this one.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Councilman. Good evening, council members. Just in the interest of time, if you don't mind, I'm going to go through the budget book in the order that it was presented to you all. So the director's office is the first page you should all see. Same number of positions. Salary changes are only the increments received by their union contracts.
Very well. Second page.
In O&E, the main change you will see was the purchase of technology for the reimplementation of the mercantile licensing office, as well as the uniform and mileage covered for that office.
Next.
Aging and disabled, again, the only change is the union contract increases. No changes in O&E.
Okay.
Division of Youth Services, we have one vacancy, a keyboarding clerk 1. The only changes are the changes in salary based on union contracts.
So I see that you went from having two for one, keyboarding clerk 1?
One was moved to the director's office.
Okay.
No changes in the O&E.
No changes.
The Rent Leveling Board, we do have a few vacancies. So if you have not made an appointment, I encourage you to please help us make your appointment. So there are no changes to the Rent Leveling Board. Mercantile licensing, as I mentioned, it's been about 6 years since we last had a mercantile inspector. We now have hired an onboarded mercantile inspector, and he has been out there going to businesses, making sure that they are in compliance with our mercantile license ordinance. The Division of Health, we have the health officers or the administration. There are only changes again in the salary increases based on their union contracts. There are no changes to the operating expenses. In 8102, which is Health Nursing Services, we do have some vacancies, as highlighted here: Health Aide Bilingual, Public Health Supervisor. And we did swap. If you see in CY 2025, we had 4 public health nursing supervisors. Now we're only budgeting for 3. That is because we've moved in the program manager disease control and prevention position, which is an epidemiologist with a PhD who's filling in that capacity. That salary is being covered by that previous salary and a grant-funded salary of a social service aide. And it was a title previously held by Dr. Prasad as well, so he's relinquished that title. OE is the same. Environmental health, every position we are budgeted for is filled. And the increases, again, are from the union increases. There are no changes to OE. Except for the clothing allowance, if you see here, it comes off as an increase. It was not put in originally, but it must be in there because all of their union contracts require that we pay for their union uniforms. Vital statistics, We have one vacancy. All the clerks in there are keyboarding clerk by title. And any increases are from the union contracts.
Madam Chair? So I think he's done, yeah.
Yep.
He's done.
That's it. Any questions?
No questions. I just want to, I just want to commend the work that you've done since you've come in as the director. You've expanded a lot of services that are very, very vital in the community, such as the seniors program where they get the fruit. The ask was made here and you expanded it. Now that it's been marketed, you know, to a different degree, a lot of the seniors are loving being able to get the voucher to go and get some fruits and vegetables from the store, and the youth service and all the programs that you do. But I just want to commend that the work that you've done as you've come in as the director to take the health department to a different place. Dr. Prasad, you know, I always call you as well. And I just want to say thank you for all the work you're doing in the department, and thank you for your efficiency in presenting on tonight.
Thank you. And if you do have any questions on any revenue increases, I did present a report to the BA that he could share with you.
I just have one question.
Yes, Councilwoman.
The rent leveling. I want an understanding of, right now, that board is not meeting, correct?
We currently do not have quorum, so we are missing
So you don't have
the
enough
appointments,
members?
yes.
Okay. When was their last meeting?
Last year.
Last year.
So last year, they did have a quorum, but some members were absent.
Correct.
So they did have the number of people on the board, but some of the ones that were sitting there didn't show up to the meeting, and that's why they did not meet. So there was a meeting scheduled, but there were some, and since one of those members has resigned from the board, and there's a new person coming out to replace that
Council
person.
President.
And I will just add on that,
I was
note
gonna say one
that
thing, that's
we
okay.
also do not have a major complaint before us. So, you know, we want to have the board fully appointed so that if there is a complaint, we can actually go through the powers of the ordinance for the residents.
And that would be council that you need to
Yes.
fill those?
Council and mayor both appoint.
Council and mayor.
But I'll have my rent leveling secretary send you an email with the composition of the board and how many vacancies are there.
Madam Chair?
Thank you.
Hi, sir. I will have my appointment ready on August 11th. The previous person in that spot had to resign to go on to another board, so that was the issue. But I will have by August 11th, I will have an appointment. I believe there's 2 other members besides me, so.
And I just want my appointment very accurate, but decided to resign.
Yeah, so August 11th, that'll be right.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Director. Good evening. So all the new hire that you have on the department are reflected in here?
Yes.
For example, the health environment, so you have 15 positions, they're all full?
Correct.
There's no vacancy here?
Correct.
All right. And the new hire that you have in your department, they're reflected here in this
Correct.
budget?
Correct.
Okay. So you mentioned this, but I didn't hear you correctly. The public health nurse, you went from 4 to 3 because what happened with that vacancy that you have from 4 to 3?
Dr. Prasad put forth a plan to replace one of those positions with an individual with a different title who has the skill set to oversee the TB when the contact tracing, for lack of a better term, right? Yes, well, Kojak Ali, that's what he was doing. So there's a social service position and the public health. So we merged both to fund this position. He's an epidemiologist, and he does a lot of work as we are pursuing accreditation. I know I've mentioned this before. There are only a handful of accredited health departments in the state, and we are going through that process. Therefore, we need someone with that skill set to guide us through that process, and that is part of the functions of this individual.
And all the positions that you've been hired, they've been approved by DCA, if you need the approval? Have you haven't had any problem?
Every position needs a DCA waiver, so every position has received a DCA waiver.
Okay, last question is that you have the youth service. You went from 2 clerks to 1. Clerk, are you moving that position to another department?
Into my office, yes.
Okay. Enter
Into
your
my office, into the director's office.
Okay, instead of two having
We're-
one and moving
We
to...
serve more residents in my office than the Youth Services Bureau. As you know, that division is serving young men and women who have interactions with the law, so they are court-ordered to participate. So you do not need two clerks there. In my office, as you know, we see hundreds of people a day who come for IDs, for social work, for housing, for relocation, for guidance,
you name it.
in general. So
Okay.
we have the need in my office.
So the last question that I have is in terms of, and excuse me, the lack of knowledge in this, the marriage certificate, when people go and request it, where that go on the which department?
Vital statistics.
Vital statistics.
It's Division of Health, Vital Statistics.
So the question that I have is because I always have to call
I know.
people that have to wait 2 and 3 months. I don't see that too many people getting married, in Paterson, but why people that have to wait so long? I know they have to, if that have anything to do with personnel, per se?
So it has to do with the fact that the registrar or the deputy are the only ones who can sign that certificate.
Okay.
So the clerks do not possess the CMR credential to be able to do that, and the state only allows us one registrar and one deputy. And we are a city which, unfortunately, a lot of people come here to get married. A lot of people from outside the country end up here wanting to get married, so that backlogs up us. But Dr. Prasad and I have a conversation about software and making that a smoother process, but it is going to cost a little investment in software.
I understand, Director, and I'm just going to say this in closing, and I'm going to repeat this, and it's the only way that we're going to create surplus in the city of Paterson is by making sure that the department are more effective in terms of bringing revenue into the city. And I would like to see a revenue projection within the health department. I know you guys have different ways to collect revenue from the city, even though I disagree in some of the one, instead of talking about the lead, because it's kind of pricing, but that's another conversation. But I think that I would like to see a revenue projection, Director, in terms of your department, because that really the only way that we're gonna be able one day to get off transitional aids by being effective in each department and start bringing revenue. And that's what I'm concentrating.
Absolutely.
That's the only way that we're gonna be able to help our homeowners, our taxpayer, by being effective on each department. Thank you, Council
You'll be
President.
happy to know when I will have my team, your late tomorrow, update, because we do have additional revenues to report, but we do have a report ready that just needs to be updated, and the Department of Health has increased revenue significantly over the last 4 years.
So,
Thank you.
Director,
Yes.
I've gone through everything. I see where everything has stayed. I think the only increase that I saw was in the mercantile. I don't have any more questions at this time, all right? So we want to thank you. And I would have to say and echo the sentiments of Council President. And I think everyone here sees the work that you do along with Dr. Prasad. I'm happy that you keep him online. No, just kidding.
Thank you for coming.
No, we're very
We're good
happy.
partners in progress.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a great.
That's right.
There's great synergy there. There's great work, and I see a level of respect, and I think that's really important. To be able to head a division and to have the people who work by you and under you respect you, right, and want to come to work. That's what I want to see throughout the entire city. So we want to thank you, and no more questions. We're going to move on.
Thank you, Honorable Council.
Thank
Have a great night.
So the remainder is all the BA, right?
So, no, at this point right now, it's just admin, finance, and law. So I don't know where, there's no library here.
No.
He's just sitting here, right?
He came with a whole squad.
There's no library,
No.
yeah. I know, he's just here, but, yeah.
The BA.
All right, Mr. BA, this is all yours.
So just
Admin, finance.
Just before he goes in, there was a one-page document for recreation. Could you just give an overview? I know there's no real change to that, but can you give an overview on the recreation
isn't it
page? It's in the DPW, it's in their section.
Where is it?
Hold on. So, Director, do you have a
Wait.
question? Sure. You have a question for the BA or for the council?
For city departments.
City departments.
So So recreation reflects
Well,
what...
wait a minute, he's still standing there. Is there something that,
To the department heads that we're going to present, the communication was clear, so... The library board gets a statutory amount raised by taxes, and that's, you know, it's not a city department.
So, Mr. BA, right, because we're in the middle of budget hearings, I would digress to say that whatever the conversation is should be held after this is done, like between you. It's not a part of what we're discussing tonight. We have published budget hearings for the department heads, and so I don't want it to get into a conversation that does not need to be divulged through, that's not publicized or that's not presented before us. It was not fair to the council or to the public. We don't have it here, and can possibly, this part should be brief, which we're going to discuss now. After this is done, and because the meeting is already closed out, it's just budget hearing, we will close this out. If there can be a conversation that's had, and if at a later time there needs to be something openly divulged, then we can do it at that time. But specifically, we're mandated by the state to perform what we're doing tonight for before our introduced budget. So I want to be clear to the council on that. But Mr. BA, if you can respond to that, or Corporation Council.
To which piece? Well, I mean, with respect to the library, the bottom line is, 2 or 3 months ago, the DCA gave a letter that the city is not permitted to give supplemental funding in '26. Being that is the case today, there's nothing for, the introduced budget will have nothing relating to the library because, you know, the statutory amount is the statutory amount. Now, since our TA letter, the director through the board has, I guess, requested to speak with DCA or put the request forward that now that we got a pretty good TA number, will DCA consider allowing us to pick a supplemental funding number. So that request was made and it's been transmitted to DCA, but I don't know what more there is to.
So, Mr. BA, can you send that letter? I know Councilwoman Alford she's new to the council. Please send that letter out so everyone can have a copy of the letter that came from DCA. DCA is our monitoring agent to the public that is watching or present. They monitor our finances. They are the fiscal monitor over the finances. We are on transitional aid. We've been on that for over 30 years. So as much as we would like to get money or transfer money, everything that's done through the city of Paterson has to be approved by DCA, which is the Department of Community Affairs, and they have to get a waiver for that. So, Director, BA, even if it has to be bought, if it's not just between the two, you want to come to finance, we can arrange that through our Madam Chair at a later time, but we definitely could do that. But today, let's just go over the remainder of this, and then after that, there can be that conversation.
Council President, may I please?
Councilman Velez, Councilman Velez, I'm going to respectfully just let us not, we have items that were already advertised special meeting. It is not in here, so I want to move forward to allow the VA to continue, and I will definitely.
I don't know if this is suitable.
What I was going to say is, and I will definitely, Director, I'll definitely invite you to our next finance meeting so we can have the conversation with the Finance Committee, the BA, our CFO.
So, Council President, may I?
Wait, Councilman.
But no, he's not going to speak, but may I please, as a statutory AG?
He wants to say something, and I want him to say what he needs to say to us, right? And then we're going to move on, please.
Oh, okay, all right.
I'd like to say something, because tonight I wouldn't have been here had I known that all departments were not giving that, we're not giving a budget hearing today. Furthermore, I don't know if everyone knows, but the Paterson libraries, we're only operating one public library, and the main library in South Paterson, 3 days a week. So I think that we should really have a conversation to talk about the library service that you have in your city, right? Because your residents are not getting the library services that they need. The library currently is operating well below the state minimum guidelines. When we talk about the 160,000 population, when that population went up, so did the requirements to run a public library in this space. Understanding that there's no perfect way of putting it together, the residents of the city every resident of the city needs library services, and we have to really think about the way we talk about things going forward, understanding it's not a city department, that's fine, but it is a service that every resident in the city is entitled to. So we're willing to sit down to the table to talk about whatever we have to talk about, funding, we talk about ways of trying to operate our libraries in a more decent manner so that our residents, we talk about the digital divide, we're talking about reading levels, right? The reason why I come here every day is because I live it. I live the libraries. I'm in the buildings when I see the residents that can't read, 6th grade can't read, right? It's just the homeless, the people that don't have internet at home. It's disturbing in the third largest city in the state of New Jersey. I understand transitional aid. I understand the state can tell you what to do, but there's got to be a fight for what's right for our residents. We talk about our residents. We talk about revitalization, right? It's got to be some real sit down, some real serious conversations. I've been here for about 8 years now, and every year I'm coming to this podium, advocating for things that should already be here. We deserve your city deserves services. I know there's a perfect world number, but there's at least a number that we can at least get some services to our residents. But 1.5 libraries for 160,000 people, that doesn't make sense.
Thank you very much, Director.
Yes, Mr. BA, just make sure that that is a part of the conversation, as well as on tonight's agenda, approximately 600,000 was allocated to work to be done in the library. So I just want to put that on the record, that when it comes to what we are doing or not doing, item number 1 had work for the library on Broadway and South Paterson. But Mr. VA, let's do that. Madam Chair, let's move forward.
Madam Chair,
we can finish
please.
the agenda, please.
May I, please?
If you can just be brief.
I'm going to be brief because my comments and what I'm going to bring is solution. I just heard that there was a conversation, there's a letter from DCA that, and I received it because you sent it, and I had a conversation with you regarding it. Moving forward, I believe there's have to be a conversation between the library and DCA, and that's what I heard tonight, right? So make it probably easy to lobby for the library. I will call a statutory meeting with the library only, get the facts, get the what you need, don't need, and put it all in paper, and probably a letter that we draft as a committee could give you that support that you need with DCA meeting. If that sounds suitable? Okay, so let's get that meeting moving forward. In the statutory, I'm the chair, Michael Jackson is the co-chair, Khalik and Alex Mendez are part of that committee. We could get together and have, by law we have a committee, and we should meet with the library. He will put on the floor what was his concern, and probably from there we could draft a letter and give it to them and as a support with DCA. That's how I see it. Not just, and in the past, I recall that the library sat in front of us in a budget hearing and presented his budget and what he really needed and not. In the past, I don't know why we didn't did it now, but
Councilman, I think the BA did explain why that happened. The letter explains why, but let us not furthermore. Thank you very much, Director. Thank you, Councilman Velez, and definitely, I know you'll be bringing that up in statutory. Mr. BA.
Thank you, council members. So the way we structured is the major departments, the department head spoke between the public safety, health, economic development, and what did I miss? The five that we covered, they cover over 80% of our total salary and wage and insurance cost. So everything else has been folded under, just administration for discussion. That includes the finance department, the law department. Those are separate departments. Both directors are here if there are any specific questions to them. I want to just address the recreation piece. That question was asked before the library sidebar. Essentially, it's what was expended in '25, and to account for contractual raises and so forth, it went up in proportion to that.
So, So I'm trying to understand something.
It's on the cover page.
Madam,
So wait, 1 second. Mr. BA.
Yes.
Public Works,
Right now, we were going, the way this was divided, divided into different departments, right?
Yes.
And now you said you would, so we have general government.
Correct.
That's where council, elections, insurance, right?
No, he's doing rec first. Recreation was in the page of DPW. That was the only item not discussed under DPW.
So, may I, Madam Chair?
1 second.
It's my well, whatever the council's pleasure is with more information on recreation, I'd be happy to provide it.
I think it's self-explanatory. It's 1 page. What was the increase?
Do you have that?
No, Madam Chair?
So, Council President?
So the recreation budget was 2.5 million. Operating expense was 800,000. This year,
OE was 800,000.
operation expense, 800,000. This year, they're asking for 3.3 million and operating expenses. So they're looking for a $800,000 increase. And then no, I'm saying overall.
Just as a
From
point of
last year,
clarity,
it's-
last year, more.
Yes. So 1 million.
Wait 1 second.
Last
1
year,
million
more was-
in operating expense and the salary and wages. That's what they're asking. Salary and wages, 800,000.
Correct.
Operating expense,
The
200,000.
caveat to that is last year, they went higher than their budgeted amount, which is why you had to do transfers. Remember that meeting you had at the end of December? So this year's budgeted number more accurately reflects what was actually spent last year.
Okay,
So
so
it
it's
looks like a
just
massive
to cover.
increase, but it's really smaller because there was.
Okay, that makes sense.
Council President?
Okay.
Council President?
That makes sense.
So, may I please, regarding this item, I'm real excited for it because now we're increasing, asking for $1 million more into that recreation budget that they need, that I know is real needed in the community, that recreation department. Now, that recreation department has certain employees, has, they fulfill work from there. Now, what I'm looking for, and I'm looking into this, now we're increasing 25% on recreation, and it's good. Paterson needs recreation, and it's good. What we're looking to see if it's suitable to create a recreation and park division in our city that mainly that budget will dedicate to recreation and parks by itself. Because we have parks that we have spent money and they need to get maintained directly. We have programs of recreation that if we budget properly, that division will probably get more funding and will be more justified in DCA that we have a division in recreation and parks, and they will look at us with compassion when they have to put more money for that, because really the community is using recreation. If you look at all the programs and all the parks all year round, they are using it. So moving forward, Mr. Corporate Counsel, I will look forward to sit down with you to see we could draft a ordinance to create the recreation and park division of the city of Paterson, and it will be budget different as a benefit for the community at whole.
Councilman, if I may, that is a request, and that it comes from the administration. I know that that's already been in conversation, so you're saying you recommend it, but it's already been a conversation.
Yes, I just want to put it there because I'm being recommended.
I know, but it needs to come, they have to come to us, and then we will vote yes or no. We will have the conversations in committee if it's something to be done, but
That's not what we're talking about.
Not right now,
So
why?
I have a,
It's needed.
Council, we have to stay to the task, what we
Yes.
advertise, okay? So right now, we were supposed to be in general government, which was the next thing, which is somewhat self-explanatory,
So-
because it's the mayor's office, council, clerk,
yes.
elections, insurance.
So right before I just have an ask. So for recreation, special events, I know that there is a project underway to do renovations in the bathrooms in the park. I'm going to put on the record that I believe that we need, when it comes to events, we need to have someone stationed in the bathroom to clean the bathroom consistently. We know there needs to be an upgrade, like rusting on the sinks, doors off the hinges, all of those things. But since we're talking about recreation, it needs to be added that someone is there that will continuously clean the bathroom throughout the course, especially when there's events going on. I know they're clean when they first start off, but throughout the course of the events, and I'm not sure if they're in there every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, but I want to put that on the record, especially since we're on recreation, as we move into general government. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. So, Mr. Bien.
Thank you. So going through general government, I'll flip page by page. If there's any questions, feel free to ask. If the mayor's office, all those positions are currently occupied. The O&E is flat. The council and the council secretary and support system is the following page. There's relatively few changes there other than contractual increases. O&E is on the next page for that. The next page is the actual, is the clerk's department. If there's any specific questions on that.
No.
The fourth
Office-
page in general government.
Is it that city clerk? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No. It's very clear. So you see at the top, it says, all the way at the top, office of the city clerk? All the way at the top, it says cut off.
Mr. B, on the city clerk's office, is city clerks in there with city council? Is that a separate page?
Yeah, council was before.
Right. Or all the,
So you look-
do they, no,
so
wait
you
a
look at
second.
our expenses
Do
and
they
everything?
have, forget about our expenses. On the city clerk's office, do we have in there the money, I mean, with the staff that we need in the city council? Do we have the staff that we need? Because we definitely need that administrative supervisor in the city clerk's office. We definitely need that. And,
So Councilwoman,
it doesn't matter what issue, but I'm saying, if you want city government to run smoothly, it really starts with city council and city clerk.
City clerk.
Regardless. They're the one that got to publish in newspaper and put the stuff out there and make sure that everything is in there. I'm asking, is there everything in here that office needs? That's my question.
So Councilwoman, to your question, when we did internal budget meetings, that was prior to Madam Clerk joining us. So what I'll just say generally is if Madam Clerk does have positions she wants to add, she can absolutely, come see me and the CFO, and we will do our best to incorporate that into this budget cycle.
But okay, but you don't have it listed now. Only thing we have now is what we have working in there now.
It appears as though there's one
It is.
additional clerk position budgeted for this year that
And
wasn't
it's-
there last year,
And the city council.
under the clerk.
Yeah, if I may.
Sure.
If you can, please.
So I sat with the CFO, and based just on my months since being here, it is my request that, and I hope that we can have the budget for it and that we have the support, but definitely we need one more person in where I sit immediately and in the council. And the budget currently reflects those numbers.
Yes.
What's presented before you has that.
So is that for a secretary or is that for a supervisor?
Another secretary.
Right, okay.
That's been incorporated.
Yes.
But my question is, even in the city's clerk's office, in the city council office, you still need that supervisor in that city council office, because the city clerk, it's hard for her to be supervising both offices.
So I don't-
Even though she has a deputy clerk, I'm talking about the city council office.
I don't, currently, I don't believe that we need a supervisor in the council secretaries. I think we need another council secretary.
Yes.
I am working, obviously, on the things that we have outstanding and restructuring correctly our office.
Okay.
I do think that we are short-staffed severely. We don't have the capacity for the number of Oprah requests alone that we get, on top of what the council's requests may be, right? So I do believe we need 4 council secretaries and an additional staff person for my immediate office.
And for the record, you know, like, for example, my secretary never got filled, right? And then it was that, exactly, and then it was that, you know, we have 2 persons that are doing everybody, and then you got 1 person that does a lot more because now she has to do the constituent services in another language, and it becomes a lot, and you only have 2. Where we used to have, I believe, and when I was, the same thing. The council president always had 1 person sitting in the council president's office. This office is always closed. Right.
Madam
So
Clerk.
anyway,
Is it-
so I know that you
President.
went like this because you agree, so Mr. BA, that is something. Councilwoman Arthur?
Yes, and I wanted to know, thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to know, also, is it included in the budget, the very basics of software, like Adobe, and the things that make your job easier regardless of the manpower?
I think our CFO can confirm, but I think those things stem from IT or somewhere in the administration. I know currently, since I've been here, the city had already acquired an Oprah software that I've been deeply involved with Ryan in IT. And so we're almost at the end of it, and hopefully we'll be implementing it by next month where things will be automated. But I don't think that that number is reflected in this budget. Our CFO can confirm where that number is coming from, but I think it's under IT.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
It does come out of IT's department.
Mr. CFO, you wanted to respond?
It comes out of IT. The software comes out of IT.
Yeah.
The software that you're talking about is getting charged to the IT department, the OE for the IT department.
IT.
Is it going to be implemented this year?
No, it's always, everything goes through.
Yeah, the Oprah system that we've been reviewing, my staff has been in meetings literally since I've been here. So we're getting ready to roll it out soon. So it will most definitely be implemented this year. For my petitions for next year, I do want to look into systems to automate our agenda process, but that would be a request following after I get the ball rolling with this.
So, Council President.
Madam Chair.
Okay, Councilwoman Mendez.
Thank you. It's just a quick question, Madam Clerk. So the additional stuff that you need is reflected in the budget here, or not? Is it here?
Yes, the numbers reflected.
That's the clerk, instead of clerk type, put clerk number 2 instead of 314, number 14?
Right, so on the council page, the title is cut off, but it's the 3rd page listed, I believe, under general government. Under the council, you see they're reflected for 2026 for clerk 2 titles. That would be another council secretary, so that's 1 more person for council secretary's office.
Okay.
And then 1 more person for my immediate office there. Same thing under clerk 2.
Okay, and I see, just in closing, I see on this whole budget, only 1 vacant position, which is the intern in the mayor's, an intern for $20,000. I know this administration will hire multiple people position. All those positions are reflected in the budget, Mr.
That's
VA?
what she said.
That's across the board, especially the administration.
The intern is out, so Councilman, that 20,000 is out, but I don't know, like, unless you tell me what position, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's
You say
mayor's
the
office.
administration has hired
He's
multiple
talking about the
positions.
clerk, and now he's talking
No, the
about
clerk, I mentioned the clerk. So in this whole, I just see the clerk from 3 to 4, the type 2, and from 1 to 0, the intern, so that you're not budgeting that.
That's in the
that
mayor's
amount.
office.
That's in the
it.
mayor's office.
That's the only
That's the
thing I
mayor's
see.
office.
Yes, so far, those are the changes.
So all the number that we have here are accurate, that's my question.
Yes.
In terms of people that are, in terms of the number that I see, for example, on, on the position I see clerk 2, give me a second, let me just, to be more specific.
For the ones falling under council and clerk, yes.
The only thing the mayor is adding is $20,000 for intern.
But that's out.
Yeah, I know.
That's out.
You see a negative. It's
Yeah, that's only two, that's only two positions that I see here. All right,
So far,
thank
yeah.
you.
Council President, Madam Chair.
Councilman Velez.
So, Madam Clerk, Office of the Clerk is only adding one clerk, two,
One.
and that go into your office or our office?
So I have one reflected in my office.
Okay.
And then one reflected under council to add another council secretary.
So, now, in the past, that position was advertised, for example, clerk 2 bilingual, clerk 1 bilingual. In this case, it's not going to be bilingual, it's going to be a clerk?
Well, I think I'd have to follow whatever HR's requirements, if there are any. I know we're civil service, but my goal or my wish would be another person bilingual.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up, because it's one thing is hiring a clerk, but in the past, all the position that we always posted for clerk, council and clerk was bilingual. It was bilingual. So in this case, it's saying
No,
only,
not always bilingual. It's like you can put that
listen,
as-
bilingual is not just Spanish. Bilingual could be a Bangladesh, it could be anything,
Bengali.
bilingual. I just want to make sure it's not a Spanish thing. They used to say the position was bilingual. And I just want to clarify, people going to think it's only Spanish. No, bilingual is other languages. To make sure that your staff, because the Arabic community is growing, the Bangladesh community is growing, and I understand, some people will handle different languages, but we want to see that diversity is in place when people are coming to get service. Why I say this? I have experience that when I'm in my office, I have to assist individuals that don't know English. And I know that Ruby experienced that, and other people that are in office, I have to come out and say, okay, they want this, or send my secretary to say, can you assist them because they don't know the English language. So in the past, I just want to make it clear, every position that was hired in the clerk's office or in the council office, the title bilingual was, the description bilingual was in that hiring, Madam Clerk. And everybody knows that we have been with that secretary since 2018 when Mrs. Rodriguez decided to go to Puerto Rico. So I just want to say that. But they do a lot of work, and they keep on doing the good work, like Madam Clerk has been doing a good job in her office. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Chair. All right. Thank you.
I've looked at everything. I looked at administration, I looked at finance,
I don't agree on administration or something here, but that's okay. I'm not going to say.
law and courts. I don't have any more questions at this time. We do have, we'll be discussing more going.
I have a question for,
Councilman Kalik, you have?
yes.
All right, Councilman Kalik, then Councilwoman Cotton. If you have something for courts, I know, but Councilman Kalik and then you.
Finance Director.
Finance, let's go.
Yes. Where are we with the audits?
With the audits?
Yes.
So the
The audits.
2024 audit is being worked on right now. It should be done, I would say, in 2 months. By the 2024 audit. Next council meeting, we're going to go out for the 2025 audit, and they can start working on that, I would say, they're probably going to work around the same time and give you, I would say, 5-6 months for the 2025 audit, and then we'll be caught up. 2026 should be going out somewhere around March of 2027.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Cotton? Well, no, he had that just question for finance. Law.
Now, let me just ask, he got up, but, you know what, BA, I noticed that in the, for the breakdown for the law department, I can't understand why the salary went down for the administrative secretary.
The administrative secretary,
Retired.
yeah, we had a long-time employee retire,
Okay.
and they've put that job ad out. They weren't, they weren't comfortable with who applied, so they're gonna, they're gonna handle it. Everyone's gonna pitch in until they find the right person.
Oh, okay, but you're still going to start the salary at that amount?
Not at the old 60 number. The placeholder is 45 for the budget.
Right, but I'm saying, but you're not going to find nobody. You might find somebody, but you're saying because
Yeah, and if we
you're
don't-
saying because she was a 30-year employee at
Right.
60,000, you don't think that the next person coming in should make 60,000?
So
I think they could
The
be.
DCA denied the waiver that had 60,000 as the replacement.
Oh, they
So the
denied it.
department head, Mr. Bushi, had to come back, and he provided a range for the administrative secretary. So the number 45 is there. There was a range approved. Maybe it was 40 to 50.
Okay.
So I mean, if a month or two from now the process continues, we repost it, whatever, and the person is hired at 52, then we would just that's a cosmetic change in the budget mid-year. So
Okay.
that's a
Council West,
placeholder.
Madam Chair.
Let me ask you another question since we almost finished. I know we have two assistant BAs now, and I remember mentioning it a few times before. I know each department should have someone tracking their own budget. They don't have nobody tracking their budget. So our two assistant BA are tracking. Can you break down which one is tracking which budget? Because our budget starts in January. By July, I should know already how much I done spent and how much I got left. We need to know that. They need to know that. Because if September come and I done depleted my budget, where do I get the rest of the money from to finish out the next 4 months?
Right.
So, and I know that they had said that each department should have someone in there, but I don't believe each department has a person in there to track their budgets. So do they, or are we relying on the two assistant BAs?
So on the subject of the assistant BAs, who I communicate with a lot, I inherited a specific situation where a former BA, assigned them to special tasks within departments. I'm constantly evaluating kind of the future of that situation. I know in terms of I know the way it used to work, and I know they played a great role in tracking the budgets. And I'm looking to get back to that kind of flow. I agree with you, Councilwoman.
The reason why I say that, because I know one of them, I'm not mentioning her name, she tracked the DPW budget. She tracked it really good. And I remember I had some council colleagues up here saying, that's not their role, but we don't have nobody in each of these departments to track their budget, to say, or even track overtime. Somebody really should be tracking the overtime, like how much overtime is coming in. So if you could just, I know she done it, really did a good job at it, of keeping track of DPW. That's the only one I really knew that needed to be tracked, but whatever we can do, so we need to know by July, August, how much we spent, how much we got left. Each department already needs to know that.
And to be fair, the finance department, those reports do get produced.
Okay.
I see those reports. The DCA monitor asks for those reports every month or so. So there is a document that we could send at any moment that shows you % expended as of a certain date. So let's we'll share that with the council, a % expended as of the last report date, so you can see where we are in the year in every account. Absolutely.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. So I love my work. So through the chair, Mr. CFO, you stated that we in audit 2024 right now, or 2020?
Yes, Councilman.
So based on the rules and regulations that say, are we in violation of those audits?
We're delayed in 2024. 2025 should be done by November this year.
Are we getting?
That would be if we were on time.
Are we getting penalized for having the audit 23, 24? Is that MOU? So, no, they've been sending, this is the thing, they've been sending, we agreed on the audit for 2023, they've been sending it here. I questioned that the last time, why we not on top of the audit? And every time that we sign, that we agree in that audit, we don't even have a deep discussion of that audit. We just, okay, let's vote on the audit, everybody, we don't never had discussion the audit. But we signed that we agreed that it's going to be performing the right way the audit said. Now, so we're not getting penalized for that?
There's no real penalties for it. I mean, if you're delayed enough, you could lose grant money or things can happen. That hasn't happened yet.
So that's the reason why probably the director CFO, his salary went down $1,000?
No, I think, if I'm correct, we did the supervisor's contract last year, and that was part of retro amount. So last year's budget was increased because of the supervisor's contract.
Director, CFO, this is your full-time job as CFO in the city of Paterson?
Mine?
Yeah.
I hope so. Yes, sir.
Huh? Full-time.
Just go ahead, Council President.
No, I know because I heard in the past that you were also CFO for Bloomfield, or whatever. Belleville?
Like 3 years ago, I was a part-time CFO for
okay.
Belleville.
See, you had to update me on that, though. Thank you.
So as we close out the budget hearings, I just want to say that we did have discussions around the audit. There was some very, in finance and here at the dais, we know that there are some things there's some things that need to be done from the administrative side, the clerk side. There's different things that are required, UCC and different codes that are required. So I'll put it back on the record to my council colleagues. Please look at the MOU to look at what's outlined that is required through DCA based on the transitional funds that we receive. I want to thank my 8 council members that showed up on tonight. And all of our department heads and the administration, our Madam Clerk and the secretaries, and Raphael for being here on tonight, and the public, that did come out. I think it's important.
I have another question about the law department. I'm waiting for my time. I was waiting for my lawyer to get back to my corporation counsel.
One second. So I just want to say that we appreciate all the time that was spent after Councilman Mendez's final question. The meeting will be adjourned. Councilman Mendez.
Thank you, Council President. Let me call the superstar of this chamber. My corporation counsel, I see you adding another full-time lawyer, correct? So you're adding another full-time lawyer. That's what I see here on page 1, right? From a full-time lawyer, we're going to nine full-time lawyer, right?
May I?
Yes, Corporation Counsel.
Thank you. Good evening, Councilman Mendez. Yes, that's our request, given the workflow and how busy the law department is and the law department's responsibilities. And I'm happy to expand upon that.
Okay, I know since you've been here with us, you've been concentrated into bringing more job in-house. I just want to encourage you to please, let's concentrate on that. I'm not against this additional lawyer, but want to see more job done in-house. As you remember my comment with the engineer, if it will be me, if I'll be the mayor of this city, I will have 3 engineers because the amount of money that we send it out is incredible. So with the law department, the more we do in-house, we're going to save a lot more taxpayer dollars by bringing everything in-house. So I'm not against that at all. So I want to encourage you just to continue doing the same. But the core, I see that instead of the deputy core administrator from 6, we're going down to 4.
Council President, may I very briefly just to that point, and I'll be brief. Thank you, Councilman, for your observation. I share your vision. Since I've been the director of the law department, we've done more cases and activities in-house than ever before. Every slip and fall that the city gets sued on, and there are many, are handled in-house. Our prosecutor staff approximately 25 municipal court sessions a week. which is a substantial increase, and each one of those require additional hours. In addition, as you know, the federal administration sued the city for supposed sanctuary city policies, while other major cities, including Newark, hired outside counsel, and Hoboken, we handled that in-house. It was me and another attorney from my office who I specifically supported to get admitted into federal court for the first time ever so he can participate and litigate. The only things that we don't do in-house are certain types of litigation and also many complaints about harassment and employee matters because sometimes, depending on the type of complaint, the law department may be conflicted out of. So that represents a certain part of the law department practice that's growing a little bit. I would love to handle more of that in-house, but due to conflict reasons, we can't. So as you know, we work with counsel, we draft the resolutions, many of the ordinances, we advise, we staff, and I certainly want to give a shout out to the law department because they do a tremendous job day in and day out, from property issues to property sessions and prosecuting crimes, including the community court, which has been a success, which we're using completely federal grant money to fund. So that's not even on here. So I do want to give a shout out to my team who have done tremendous work and dedicated themselves. And I appreciate the council's vote of confidence really in them, not me. And if we are granted the privilege of having another attorney, I promise you that we will only accelerate what we're doing.
Absolutely, Corporation Counsel. I love your vision, and we're here behind you. I see the progress that we've been making, and we definitely agree by you bringing another member to your team to do more job in-house. And moving forward with the court, I remember before COVID, our court in Paterson, we was hitting close to $5 million in revenue, Mr. Corporation Counsel. I see that the deputy court administrator from 6, we're going down to 4. I don't know if we move into that chief court clerks from 0, we're going to 2. And municipal court attendance from 3 to 2. So I know we have some reduction there. If we could look at the revenue projection, how much money we're getting now, and that will be important for me, and how fully staffed the court is going to be. I remember how big was the revenue from the court. And as I mentioned before, this is the 3rd time that I'm going to say this, the more we increase our revenue, that's the only way they're going to get into a surplus in the city of Paterson and stop depending on the state. So we got to look into every dollar. So I don't know if we could look into this, Corporation Counsel. So the reduction here, what are we doing with the core, and where we are in that.
Thank you so much, Paterson.
Council President,
the meeting is now.
We're in legal. He opened a discussion for legal.
Councilman Velez.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam President, I just want to be short on this. You know, the law department created a baby that is producing results, and that's the community court. And when you see those testimonies and you listen to those individuals, and they come here to the city, I pass embracing still the program, and hopefully we could graduate more. And I call it a baby because when you want to help and you bring this type of resources to the city, I have to commend who put that in the heart and put it to us, to the council, and we approve it. And that's one of the things that I always say, that your professionalism and your way to conduct yourself with us and the public is outstanding. It's outstanding. You know, if you go to Jersey City, you go to Newark, I know the salary is higher, okay? But being a full-time corporation counsel with the team that you have, okay? I hope the state could allow us to get more funding for we could raise those salaries to those individuals that are bringing revenue, that are saving taxpayer money. If we haven't done a lot of press conference because we don't want to upset people around, but you have saved a lot of money for our taxpayer. Things that people don't listen because we always in, you call it in a executive section on it. The reporters always put whatever they want or what they see in the paper, but the reality is that this council has seen the work that you have been doing, not only yourself, with the teamwork that you have down there, especially when we ask something, you navigate, you look, you give us the right answer, and you give us the right response and the right results. So thank you for being our corporation counsel. I know your mother will love me more, but keep on doing the great work. First of all, we need to make sure that every department in the city, the morale are lifted, and this is the way we could lift the morale. Praising you in the good and the bads, but doing what we have to do. And thank you, Council President, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to close this section.
Move to
Thank
adjourn.
you. The meeting is now adjourned. There's no need for an official roll call. We were in budget hearings. Thank you, Paterson, and good
Did you
night.
close the special meeting?
No, we got a new clerk. Come on, she knows what she...
Is it when I went to the bathroom that they closed the...